everybody, how's it going? This is the Imperial Remnant Broadcast, brought to you by the fine people at Fandom Empire. That's us. This is Tuesday, December the 15th, 3 years to the day some movie was released. Joining me on this episode, and there's a metric shit ton to talk about. First up, it's the boys from the Rogue Sons of Star Wars podcast. Kieran, what's happening, man?
Not too much. I'm excited to get going on these shows. Let's not waste any time.
There's so much to talk about. I mean, it's just crazy. Thaden, how's it going, dude?
Pretty good. I'm happy just sitting over here thinking about Jabba the Hutt's asshole and stuff, like we were talking about before the stream. You were pretty excited about his asshole, Sean?
I'm excited about plenty of assholes, so... wait, a guy that just got engaged probably shouldn't be saying that, so... whoops. And she may or may not be getting ready to come through that door any minute now, too. So.
I heard some steps.
So... Quick, duck for cover! No, daddy, no! Speak of the devil. Johnny, what's happening, man?
Nothing.
Oh, look at that. There's popcorn coming on. Look at that.
Yay.
No, that's good. Thank you. Yep. Johnny, even though you're eating something. Oh, boy. I literally just said that I got engaged.
Yeah, say it, though. I'm your what?
Pain in the ass. I said that. That was literally, actually, I said that before I proposed, so. Fiance.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just say it like you're saying Beyonce.
Wow, what a show we have for you fine gents this morning. Let me just answer for Johnny since his mouth is full. I'm Johnny, and I love the prequels, and I've always loved the prequels, and I will always love the prequels.
I'm holding popcorn. Don't make me throw it.
You know what? I got to say, I've been avoiding snacking, and I'm going to avoid. That popcorn actually smells quite good.
It is
so,
good.
It is quite flavorful for popcorn.
I was going to say, when it's not movie theater popcorn, it's usually... a bit of a kick in the ass. So, also joining us this evening, playing the role of producer and man in the cupboard, Tommy B. What's happening, man?
Well, I'm hanging in there. I currently can't see you all, though, so that's unfortunate.
Well, you know what? That's a shame.
I look as good as I did last week,
but
Tommy.
You know,
that's
sad.
okay,
Me and Tommy just have to look at each other the whole night.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Now you're looking at yourself.
So.
You could have just not been looking at anybody, and now you got to look at yourself. Anyways, we don't have 30 minutes here to dive into our normal Seinfeld stuff. Oh, God. Thank God the lid was on that. That would have been bad.
We don't have 30 minutes to dive into Jabba the Hutt. Nothing.
Oh, man.
We don't. So I want to start things off by saying... as we were going off the air last week, Thaden basically said something to the extent of, I don't want to get my hopes up, and, it probably won't be much. And then I forget, I made a point, and you're like, oh, well,
I probably, yeah.
That's true. And I don't even remember what the point was, but I feel like
either.
I can safely say nobody was expecting them to announce 9 new Star Wars shows and 2 movies.
8 new Star Wars shows, sort of. We knew about the Bad Batch and Andor.
Well, yeah, it's still announced, but
it showed us a lot more. Yeah, no, they revealed them.
Well, and we knew, but not the casual fan.
And remember, there's 10, and I think we're going to find out about the 10th one on Friday. For whatever reason, they... I know Kieran already has his head down because I think we all know what the 10th show is going to be. We lost Thaden's voice.
Maybe it's because we're going to see the Boba Fett series in January. Now, wouldn't that be cool, though? Like, they didn't talk about it at all because just suddenly, you'll see it in a couple weeks. Now, we're not that lucky.
So
what if, like, just next Friday, instead of, Mando, just same time as Mando always drops, there was just episode 1 of a Boba Fett show?
That's
what they did.
Kieran's shaking his head.
Yeah, you need it.
Frank Riker, what's going on, Frank? Chat mod in the house. He says a few of these shows will probably be canceled after the first season, probably. but which one? Well, I mean, some of these shows are designed for only one season. Kenobi is only one season. Ahsoka probably will be more than one season, is not going to go 5 to 7 seasons. They already made that clear. And a lot more information has actually started to trickle out about each one of these projects over the last few days, whether it's from a place like Empire or Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Emergency Awesome, you name it. I just can't, I'm still trying to grasp how much information we got, because it's kind of insane. Christmas for Star Wars fans, basically. Johnny, you and I have been doing this since, I believe, June 2015. What are your thoughts on I mean, let's be honest, we were calling it an investor's call because that's what it was advertised as, and it ended up being like this gigantic stream where there was so much Disney and Marvel content. Did you ever think we were going to see a Star Wars news day like this?
The last Star Wars news day like this was the day you called me a liar.
And I would say it wasn't even that big, so.
I mean, that's big on a different scale, though. No, this was a huge day. I didn't expect half of what we got. I mean, I expected a total for Marvel and Star Wars to be the total of one. So they more than doubled what I expected. You know, I mean, I'm here for this. I'm here for all of this. You know, the day just kept getting better. You know, the Star Wars stuff happened, then the Marvel stuff happened, and it's like, hot damn, I need to change my shorts.
Not to mention, before we got to Lucasfilm projects or Marvel, we got a sneak peek at the Mighty Ducks series with Emilio Estevez and the girl from
Lauren Graham?
From there it is. I can't remember that show's name again. Gilmore Girls, that's it. Frank Riker says, I predict a new show, Keeping Up with the Rancors. That would be something else. Kieran, let me throw it over to you, man. Actually, you know what? You're a Boba Fett hater. I'm going to throw it over to Thaden.
No,
Thaden, I mean, we got a just metric shit ton of shows announced and content. Without diving into anything specifically, like, what was your reaction to all the news? I can't remember what you posted in the chat, but like, I was watching some Star Wars fans. Yeah, I was going to say some Star Wars fans on Twitter weren't aware of what was going on, and then we're going on Twitter being like, "Oh my God, what?" Like, I think a lot of people thought it was fake.
It feels fake because there was so much, and it's all so cool. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I was at work when it was all going down, and so I came back, and there was 10 Star Wars shows announced, including the ones that we know about, like Andor and Bad Batch and Mando, and then 7 new ones, which is insane. And then there was also Marvel stuff, which I was excited about, but we'll get into that. And then game stuff too. It was a wild night, and Star Wars was the most exciting thing of that night, even though there was a lot of other stuff after that I caught up on. I don't know. I'm just super excited about all of it. I'm super glad they said Ahsoka and Rangers and Mando are all going to kind of culminate in one thing. I don't know if that'll be a crossover between the shows or a special crossover show like Defenders or Avengers for the movies. But like, man, I'm just so excited. I really hope they get Childish Landino back also.
Well, that's the word. That's the word I heard anyway.
I'd be surprised if it was only Billy D. Williams. It might be both, but I
was gonna say we'll talk about the Lando show when we get there. Let's dive right into these shows, those guys. I want to give some of these shows are going to take up quite a chunk of time here, and basically today's show is literally we're going to talk about all these cool new projects that have been announced, and then we are going to briefly talk about episode 15. And then we're going to get into the Death Watch, and the show's still probably going to run about 2 hours. So just absolutely crazy. Let's start off with Ahsoka, though, guys. Ahsoka is getting her own limited series. Now, that does not mean it's only one season. It's come out since that the show could be 2 seasons or 3 seasons, whereas Kenobi is a special event. It's one and done. And Now what we know what they're doing, it's kind of obvious why it's one and done. But sticking to Ahsoka, the art comes out. I love the artwork. It seems pretty clear to me and a lot of Star Wars fans that they're advertising or at least teasing the world between worlds, which might piss some people off and other people might love it and the possibilities that it brings. Tommy, I'm going to start with you, man, because you just watched Clone Wars Season 7 over again. Your thoughts on a Rosario Dawson-led Ahsoka show, which is going to happen, as Satan said earlier, at the same time as Rangers of the New Republic and The Mandalorian, and we're going to have special crossover events or a crossover series or whatever. This is your Filoni-verse we've been talking about.
Sure. So when it comes to the Ahsoka show, I think it's fairly easy to argue for many that's the pinnacle of all these announcements. This is what everyone's really excited for right now. I think this Ahsoka show is going to hopefully wrap into. It'd be nice if we see Thrawn. If we don't see Thrawn this coming Friday, Ezra, Sabine, see all of them coming together. Rebels reunion in live action sort of way. More than that, though, I think this Ahsoka show is going to be not necessarily one season, but I do think this, more than anything else right now, stands to be where they're going to cut the line. This is the end of Ahsoka's story. How that happens, I have no idea, but based solely on the rise of Skywalker, the voice, and so on and so forth, the argument stands to be made that she's dead by that point. So how does that happen? Does she go out in a glorious blaze like Kanan Jarrus, defending others? Does she get struck down in a duel with who knows who at this point, I guess? It's there's so many questions unanswered. There's so little we know right now, and that's just what's really more exciting about than anything else. I mean, we keep spitballing Thrawn and Ezra, but the fact is, we're looking at that from 3 different angles right now. Mando, this possible Ahsoka show, and really anywhere else. I mean, what's stopping them from showing Thrawn and or Ezra in Rangers of the New Republic?
Well, I can tell you right now, not sorry to cut you off, but it came out today. I can't remember who had it, but the plan is that Thrawn will be the sort of like the overlapping bad of the 3 shows.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and that's something else that we've speculated for a while, we and others. So there's just so much left to be seen right now, and I am really here for it.
Thaden, man, your thoughts on an Ahsoka show? It's official.
I am pretty excited. It's not my most anticipated one. It'll be clear what my most anticipated one is when we get there. But this is really cool. I'd be happy to see this be Ahsoka's final story because, like Tommy was saying, this feels like it's the point where they have to kind of cut it eventually. It might not be one season. I hope it's not. I am excited for it. I'd like to see it go on. I hope with the art, I hope they get into the world between worlds, but don't go crazy with it. And I don't think they will. If Filoni's doing it again, the world between worlds was in like 1 episode of Rebels, I'm pretty sure. Maybe debatably 2.
I think it was 2.
Because it's like a 2-parter. But like it's not in that much, and they closed it off really quickly, and they don't screw much up. They kind of save Ahsoka through it, but that's all, I think. So like I think it makes sense for the world between worlds to continue with her because she maybe has some more knowledge about it and maybe has gone looking for more stuff about it, which is awesome. I don't want to see it totally dropped. I am a little worried that they're going to go into it too much, but for the most part, I think they won't, and I think it's going to be a cool Ahsoka show where she's tracking down bad guys and doing cool stuff like she was in The Mandalorian. I think that was pretty much a pilot. Like it sounded like before anyways.
I think when you have it in the logo, it's going to play some sort of significant role. That doesn't mean it's going to pop up every episode, but Maybe
Yeah.
once you get to the climax,
Could
maybe
be an important thing that's vaguely hinted at throughout the whole show or
Yeah.
something.
Oh my God, Obi-Wan's alive again because Ahsoka pulled him out of the.
She pulls them all through by accident.
Man. Wait, you're not Obi-Wan. You're some old guy who can hardly move. Johnny, your thoughts on a Ahsoka series, man? It's official. It's fish happening, dude. That's a thing, yeah.
That's not a thing.
Fish.
That's not a... What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with you?
What? No, what is wrong
It's
with you?
fish, bish.
Yeah,
Jabba's
fish.
asshole. Just
Yeah.
get on with it.
What is going on here? What is happening? I think I've entered the world between worlds. No, but seriously, I'm excited for this series. You know, I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel. You know, once we got the Ahsoka debut.
Bloated.
That has nothing to do with the television shows. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Ahsoka when we got, you know, the confirmation that she was going to appear in the season of Mandalorian, and then it actually happened, and I'm okay with it. I enjoyed the episode, you know, and I like the idea of taking the story further. Having Thrawn as the overarching villain, I like, because at this current stage of Star Wars, he's the only one that I believe has that skill, that ability, that nefariousness, that deviousness to be that guy. I mean, yes, you could argue, well, Palpatine's still out there in his clone form or whatever. Well, okay, that's crap. Okay, like, I that's crap. You know, that's not Palpatine. That's a husk, a shell. It's garbage. Hot, filthy garbage that I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. But Thrawn is real. He is devious. He is deceitful. He is everything I want in that intellectual villain. You know, he's not going to brute force you, but he's going to outbrain you. And I love that. There's not enough of that in, you know, the sci-fi fantasy comic book type genre. You know, all the villains are guys that are going to rough you up. They're going to fight with you. They're going to throw hands in the climactic battle. That's not Thrawn. Thrawn's going to think you. And you're going to have to be devious, and you're going to have to outthink Thrawn, which is not easy to do. And I'm here for that. Because it's not something we get to see nearly often enough in this universe. I don't think it's something we've ever really seen in this universe. You know, the closest would be Obi-Wan using the high ground. That's it. That's the extent of battle preparedness in the Star Wars universe. I don't like that. You know, it's might, it's brawn, yet it should be wit and nerve. And we're finally going to get that because we're going up against a villain that requires that. And you can't outmuscle Thrawn. You just can't, because he'll outthink you. You know, you won't be able to touch him. I'm here for this. I am so here for this.
I'm also curious how close Buddy Slade in the fandom chat's giving Anthony shit. All right. I mean, the other thing you can't discount is it's been 11 or 12 years basically since Thrawn and Ezra disappeared, and who knows how close they've become in that time. So, you know, are we gonna get an Ezra versus Ahsoka showdown? I wouldn't just expect after this much time away that Ezra's just gonna be like the same guy, if he's even alive, you know. So, Kieran, your thoughts, man? Ahsoka show's coming, dude.
I just want to comment on, actually, we're talking about the world between worlds as if it's going to be around at the start, but if we're talking about Thrawn and we're talking about how do you beat him, maybe it's almost the same as the Avengers in a way that they get beaten, and then they use the world between worlds as the way to get away. Like, Thrawn is kind of the bad guy who you think can't really be beaten because he's so smart. Like no one can outthink him. And I think they should keep that. Like, there's not a lot of people there that are going to outthink him. You have to use something like the world between worlds in order to beat him. And I think that would be interesting. Also, if we're thinking that an Ahsoka show is going to really quickly go and get the Thrawn, I can't imagine the pacing being that much quicker than Mando, which we get a side quest every week that almost like the main story advances, at a very slow pace, and you get lots of cool world building side stories. And I love Mando, and it's very interesting, but it doesn't really push the narrative too quick. I can't imagine shows that go side by side with it going at a quicker pace, or I can't imagine the Mando show just switching and going to a pace where it's like, based off of a much more like quickly driven linear story. So that would be my thought. Would be they come in, Ahsoka has her own stuff. We get the other show we haven't talked about, which we will, the Rangers show. All three of them together, moving at slow pace and building world, and then we get Thrawn, and then Thrawn should come in and fuck up everybody's shit. Like he better come in and look unbeatable. Like at the end, or not at the end, maybe at the end of the season, depends on how far they're going with it. But like at the height of the storyline, it should look like you have one pawn on the chessboard and he's got all of his shit left, and you're like, oh my god, there's no way you could possibly beat them. And so that's why I think maybe World Between Worlds ends up becoming the way that to beat him.
I like that. I mean, basically having to cheat to beat him. I dig that.
Yeah.
I think that would work. The other rumor that's out there is Hayden Christensen might appear in that series too. So are we thinking flashback, or are we thinking Force Ghost? Hayden, over to you, man.
I think I would like flashback more, but I could see it being in Force Ghost too. Yeah, it's weird. He shows up as a Force Ghost in episode 6 with the redo. I can't get my camera to stay at the right angle. He shows up as a Force Ghost at one point, but then he never shows up again, even though they had ideas for it. So maybe we could see something like that. We could see... Okay, I'm actually turning myself around on it. If we saw him as a Force Ghost, it could be like the concept that they had in The Force Awakens, where he's like torn between Vader and Anakin, and that would be cool. It would be cool to see Ahsoka interact with that, but also it would make Return of the Jedi feel a little bit weird because he's clearly Anakin at the end there. So I don't know. I think there is cool stuff they could do. They could probably justify it, which is usually how I think about this stuff. Like, we won't know until we'll see it if it's actually done well. So I think it could be done well. It could be not so done well. It could be just he shows up and, I don't know, he doesn't contribute much, or it's just fan service, which I'd still like, but
Ahsoka pulls him out of another timeline from the Clone Wars to help with the current battle, and then he returns back to that timeline.
That would be bad.
Let's be honest, though. This World Between Worlds, that's the type of shit that is now possible. I mean,
it is.
Even I think that's a bit too far.
Hope they don't go.
I would enjoy it, but I would know, narratively speaking, they've crossed the line.
Yeah,
they could never do it. I mean, Ahsoka stops Ezra specifically from pulling Kanan out because
she's selfish.
They claim he would die instantly just by doing it.
That's true. Yeah. Because if he's not in that moment, then it would change history. And what we see of Rebels is what happens with Ahsoka already having been pulled out of that moment with Vader. Time travel.
I see it. So
I hope they don't get into it too much, basically.
I don't know if I buy that, just because we're supposed to believe Ahsoka was about to be killed by Vader. And that was supposed to be the proper ending, and he or she gets pulled out. So... who knows? But I do think you get into some line crossing territory. Anybody else have any final thoughts on this Ahsoka show?
Well, I do want to just address the thing that Kieran was saying about Thrawn. Beating him with the World Between Worlds would be perfect, because spoilers for Rebels, in season 3, they beat him with the Bendu, something that uses the Force, and Thrawn had no way to predict. And then in season 4, they beat him with the crazy space whales, something that came out of completely nowhere, and Thrawn had no real way to predict. So that's the best way to beat Thrawn, is when it's just something out of the blue, and that would probably do it.
Kinda. I thought Rebels had a really bad depiction of Thrawn, though. Like when you read, and I don't mean just old canon. I think you look at old canon and new canon, like Thrawn wins 90% of the time. And then you get to Rebels, it's like, oh, Thrawn lost. Oh, Thrawn lost. Oh, Thrawn lost. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, why is
That
he
kind of
even in
bites
this fucking
too,
show?
but at least they play it off all the time, like Thrawn knew that he was going to lose this thing and that it's just working for him. I like that they at least did that, because, yeah, they do beat him a lot in
It's
some
kids'
weird
cartoon
ways.
show.
I got
Right?
an even more important question
Yeah,
for you, Thaden.
It happens.
I got
Yes.
an even more important question. Do you think the space
Is it
whales
because
were the same whales from Star Trek 4?
Well, yeah, obviously. That's a dumb question.
No.
Anyways, moving
No,
on.
because those were real whales, not space whales.
To communicate
you
with the...
prove that. Maybe in the past, our whales were those space whales from Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, they weren't communicating with whales. They were using the whale music to stop.
That
Wow.
movie was shit. I don't remember.
That
Alrighty.
movie's amazing.
What were they called? Purga?
The
Purgil.
Wrath of Khan was amazing.
Purgil, yeah.
Everyone knows that the odd number or the even numbered Star Wars movie or Star Trek movies are good.
Even if they're kind of dumb anyway.
The odd ones are terrible, though.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's
Anyways.
let's move, keep this ball rolling. And next up is Rangers of the New Republic, which I know a bunch of people are like, oh no, Cara Dune's gonna have her own show, and it's like, I fully expect her to be a part of it, but she's not going to be the lead.
She's a marshal, ranger.
Like if not just that though, but you can't use a very green actress to be the lead in your series unless you have like an all-star supporting cast who's on screen all the fucking time. But obviously she's probably going to be a part of it. Who else do we think might be front and center in this show? Any ideas, anybody?
The 2 X-Wing pilots we've seen twice now.
Not a
Yeah.
chance.
Isn't
Maybe
that
not-
Cobb Vanth
maybe
guy,
not.
Filoni is
Marshall?
one
Only
of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Filoni won't do it. No way.
But the other one, I don't know his name. The
He's
actor
from
or the
Kim's
character.
Convenience. He could be in it, but I don't think he's going to be one of the main characters.
Oh, I don't think
I
there's going to
think
be
she'll be,
any
but,
true
I mean, we
main
don't know yet.
characters.
You don't think there's going to be main characters?
Not to the degree, not to the degree that Din is the main character of The Mandalorian. I think it's going to be more of an ensemble type cast.
I mean, it could
Yeah.
be. And then you rotate who you view each week.
Who you
Like
focus on, yeah.
you could
Like
have the dude from Kim's Convenience, Cara Dune, Grief Karga,
Vanth.
Mayfield, Cobb
I thought you
Vanth.
were gonna say Mace.
You know, I'll tell you what, if they're bold enough, like if they backed up the Brinks truck to get Timothy Olyphant full time on one of these shows, I'm so down. Like, sign me the fuck up right now. Forget Kenobi. I want to
so
see
much.
Timothy Olyphant.
You could get rid of 9 out of these 10 shows and just give me one Timothy Olyphant show, and I'd be happy.
Oh my god, I'll admit it. I got a hard on for Timothy Olyphant.
Who doesn't?
It is what it
Really,
is.
I mean, let's be real.
Thought I
who
felt
doesn't?
something weird under the table.
It's big.
I'm a little concerned by 2 things there. 1, you think he's that large, or 2, you're reaching that far under the table.
Oh,
Ooh.
we're just like,
Wait,
actually, you know
he
what?
said we had to do that
I'm
when
not
we were
even going
there.
to say anything.
Background?
We got too much to get through for me to talk about dicks for 2 hours.
All right. Kieran, what do you think, man? Who's going to be in this Rangers of the New Republic? I will say this: Emergency Awesome is saying that Bo-Katan's going to be featured in this series, not necessarily as a main, but as a reoccurring character. So
I actually, when it came out, I actually didn't make the connection at all that it was going to be a bunch of recycled characters. I thought we were going to get new characters. That wasn't at all what I was thinking, that we were just going to get, like, it's going to be Cara Dune and this person and that person and this person. Like, I was like, oh, cool, we're going to get a new thing. And then everyone else was like, it's probably going to be a Cara Dune show. And everyone's like, you idiot. It's not going to be a Cara Dune show. it's going to be Cobb Vanth and whatever. And I was just like, I think it's just going to be some new people, and then some of the other people will come in. Like some of the other characters will be sprinkled in episodes to make that like a big universe thing. I don't at all think that they're just going to... I don't think Mando is just going to spread out into a whole bunch of shows. I think that other shows are going to come and weave into it. So that was my idea. And like, I know people were saying like, what's got to be Cara Dune? It was like, Cara Dune's not called that. That's not her title. I don't know why everybody thinks that.
Yeah.
I want Cara Dune in more
not a
shows.
ranger.
I like her. I think she's great. Like we said plenty of times, like obviously she's got some weird Twitter issues, and she should probably just stay off social media. But for the show, for what she's done in shows, I'm all cool with it.
You know, it'd be crazy. Just let me throw this one out here. Imagine if the show was Timothy Oliphant and Bill Burr. Just those two characters going back and forth across the galaxy. I'd be like, sign me the fuck up. I don't think it's going to be, but
yeah.
I'm saving all my Bill Burr stuff later. I want to talk about him for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. Anybody else? Johnny, Tommy, any guesses on this Rangers of the New Republic? Maybe it'll be the Power Rangers in Star Wars.
Yes.
That was last week. Last week's episode of Mando was just Power Rangers fighting on a mountain.
No,
Yep.
It was Power Rangers.
I'm not indulging that.
Is that
so I'd
little
like
mark?
to say I hope it's
Is
new,
that little
but
mark
I
on
know
that
what's happening.
ruler that's around the 3-inch mark there for a reason, John?
Busted.
It's a little black mark there.
There is a black mark there too. That's hilarious.
And it says, "Fuck yeah,
no, it'd be about twice
It
that.
says, and then there's writing below it. I don't know if you can see it. It says, Sean, age 24. Like as if he expects to get bigger later.
Okay. Anyways, guys, thoughts. Rangers of the New Republic. Johnny, Tommy, what do you got?
A headache. That's what I got.
You don't care about it?
About as much as everyone else.
No, I'm referring to what you guys are giving me right now.
Do you think it's a spinoff, though? Do you think Kieran's on the right track where it'll be weaving new characters in it? Or is this a spinoff where characters we've met are going over to that show?
A little both.
I'd rather see new characters. You know, I mean, if we really want to, I say we, you know, if this Filoni verse is going to be getting built up more, you got to get some new blood into it. I mean, yeah, it's nice we've been getting a lot of the fan service, and I don't complain about fan service.
Liar.
This season of The Mandalorian, but we need more characters, new, dynamic characters that are going to evolve throughout their stories. So, yeah, I really hope we see new characters.
Johnny, quick thought?
I mean, I think it's going to be both. You know, new characters and characters we've already established because, let's be real, The Mandalorian has kept a very small cast.
For the most part, yeah.
You know, there's only 4 or 5 characters that are, you know, frequent enough that are recognizable that aren't, you know, the Mandalorian himself.
Ooh. I don't know why I did that. Let's keep the ball rolling because we've literally only got through 2 shows and it's 36 minutes in, although some of these there's just not much time to be spent on. The Mandalorian Season 3, not a new show,
Who expected that?
is going to debut Christmas Day 2021. So I have 2 lines of thoughts here, guys. First, it's going to be pretty awesome to wake up Christmas morning and watch Mandalorian with my boys. That's pretty badass. I'm looking forward to that. My second thought, though, is, even though it won't be much more than a year, instead of us waiting 10 months to see the next episode, we're waiting a little over a year. So that sucks whenever you have to wait a little longer, but it also makes me wonder with the later start time, are they going to stick with the 8 episodes, or might they go the Cassian route and expand it to 10 episodes or 12 episodes? We'll have to wait and see. But thoughts on The Mandalorian Season 3 debuting Christmas Day Kieran.
It seems like we're going to have content of a Star Wars nature before that, so
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me at all. And in this day and age, you got content coming out the wazoo from everything, so I don't mind when I have to wait for something. I know I mentioned this on our Friday show, but there might not be a lot of crossover fans. I had to wait almost 2 years for Rick and Morty, and it killed me for a little while. But then it was like, whatever. I forgot about it, and when it came, I was like, oh, cool. It's coming like next week. I didn't know. So it's whatever.
Johnny, thoughts?
Yeah, I cut my teeth waiting on Sherlock, so I'm good. I don't mind waiting an extra 3 months. It's 3 months, not 3 years.
This is true.
So it's no big deal for me. Like I said, being a Sherlock fan, I wait 2, 3, 4 years between seasons. So,
but getting to watch new Star Wars content on Christmas Day is pretty cool.
I mean, sure, but I mean, watching new content on Christmas Day isn't new to me. I'm a Doctor Who fan, So the Christmas special has been a part of my Christmas Day experience for most of the last 10 years. So it's not. It's not new to me to have that Christmas Day experience. It'll be nice to have it with Star Wars, but it's not something new for me having that Christmas Day experience of watching something that I really enjoy. It'll be great to have something else to watch, assuming there's actually a Christmas special next year. Doctor Who's been doing New Year's the last couple of years, but that's a different issue altogether. But no, I'm excited for it. It'll be fun. It just makes me wonder what's gonna take that fall 2021 slot.
The fall 2021 slot, to my knowledge, is going to be this Boba Fett series or whatever it ends up being.
I mean, that's my presumption as well, but until somebody actually says that's what it's going to be.
The way I understand it is I think we're going from Mando, a little tiny bit of a break, into either the Bad Batch or Disney Galleries, which would be the making of Mando Season 2, then the Bad Batch or vice versa. Then you'd get your other show, then you'd get Mando, and then you get Kenobi. At least that's what was put out there today by Emergency Awesome. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Thaden, did you give your thoughts on Christmas Day? I can't remember.
No.
All right, so Christmas Day Star Wars release, man.
I hope it is basically just a redo of the holiday special, and all my dreams would come true if they did that. No, that would be shit. I would be I'm going to be happy to watch it on Christmas Day, especially if the world's back to normal, because everyone comes here for Christmas Day and we can all watch it and it'll be cool. But I am bummed that it's going to be more than a year. It's going to be a year and I think exactly 1 week. Yeah. Between episodes of Mando, which is a long time to wait. And between that, I still have to watch the gallery thing. I watched one episode, but I never watched more. So if I like that, then I'd be happy to get that as more Star Wars-y content. And then there's the Bad Batch, which I think is probably coming in February, March, around then.
So, yeah.
Same as Clone Wars did. But then there's not actually anything specifically announced for next year. So I'm worried that it's just going to be those two. We could get a surprise Boba Fett show, but we do have 10 shows, even though one of them's already started. So it depends on how they worded it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they're filming something with Boba Fett right now, unless that's the Mandalorian Season 3. So
it could be. But all of that said, if we get 1 year that has only 2 Star Wars shows just barely, and then that means all these other 9 or 8 shows are happening like between season 3 of Mando starting and the next movie, or approximately that long, then that means those 2 years are going to be crammed full of Star Wars, which is super exciting, and I'm really happy about that if that is the case. I really hope that's how it goes. Like the way that it felt was as if these shows are coming before the next movie, and then the movies are like way off in the distance. So yeah, if we don't get anything next year, that means those shows really only have 2 years, I think, to be released, which is it's so cool to think that we might get like 5 Star Wars shows in 1 year.
It's
oh my god,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. it's exciting stuff.
Tommy B, Star Wars Christmas Day, having to wait a year. What do you think, man?
It's not the end of the world. That's about it.
You fucking hater. Why don't you just go fuck yourself?
He lives
It's
in
not
the end of the world right now, too.
so I don't
so.
mind waiting.
Alrighty.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Tommy.
Cooler heads prevail. Intel Wildin with the super chat for Halloween, Star Wars dope. Appreciate the support, man. Appreciate the support. Alrighty. Johnny, you got good shit going on over there? You got some porn going on over there? Is that what's happening? I haven't seen you look up from your phone in about 5 minutes.
Well, that's because I've been listening to you guys go back and forth.
Have you?
I have.
What were we talking about?
We've been talking about Christmas.
No, we haven't. No, I'm kidding. I'm fucking
Don't even.
Frank Riker, Little House on Dagobah. That's hilarious.
That would not be a good show.
All right, guys, let's get into what was the surprise announcement and not on anybody's radar whatsoever. I'm talking none of the major Star Wars sites, none of the major Star Wars podcasts. Nobody had this. And that is the next Star Wars cinematic movie, although we all believed would be Taika Waititi, which turns out it's looking like that's probably 2025. In 2023, basically 3 years from today, we will be going to see, as a group, Rogue Squadron, the movie, in theaters. And I don't know about the rest of you guys, but the thought that they're actually going to put some focus on space battles and spacecraft and not have it be this quick, fast-forward 2-minute fight is so, like, I love seeing my lightsaber battles in movies or in TV shows. It's my number one thing, but space battles are number two. Like, I mean, one of the reasons why Return of the Jedi is not high on my list, but I think one of the best things in Return of the Jedi is the space battle. It's just so jaw-droppingly good even to today. And I love what they could do. Although it does sound like, and this has come up from a couple of places over the last couple of days, is that this Rogue Squadron movie may in fact take place after Episode 9, possibly considerably after Episode 9. So the two leading candidates are after Episode 6 with some characters that we know, or after Episode 9 with all characters that we don't know. We'll have to see what happens there. But Kieran, over to you, man. Rogue Squadron, by the way, directed by Patty Jenkins.
That's the big news.
Whose father was an Air Force pilot himself and actually died in the line of duty. So it's not like you're just hiring someone for big money, which, make no mistake, she got hired for big money. Like, this is a passion project for her, too. It's not just like, oh, I got hired on to do something I don't really care about, but it's for the money, so it's good. You could actually tell how emotional she was about it. And whether it was in the little clip they showed or a couple of the articles she did, I think it's awesome. Kieran, thoughts?
Yeah. Obviously, they found the perfect director. And, I mean, I really thought Wonder Woman was fantastic. But not only that, but when you hear stories that come out about the movie Wonder Woman, you hear a lot of stories of that she really took on the project and she got everything she wanted out of it. Everyone that worked with her enjoyed working with Patty Jenkins, and like she got a lot of really positive buzz beyond just that fact that the movie was good. And so it's no surprise that they went and grabbed her for a movie. Like, it's a surprise because we're like, it's a pleasant surprise, but it's not a surprise that they picked up someone who got that much praise in a big budget movie. And I am really excited about the fact that she has a lot of background and passion for, I don't know what you want to call it, but ship combat, I don't know. But it makes me think that we're going to get like a really, I don't know, like we're going to get some camaraderie between pilots. We're going to get what it's like for pilots to live and serve together, and not just awesome battles as well, which means it should be, I think, an amazing project. And I think I've said before as well that I really enjoy any flying games. One of my favorite Star Wars games was the Jedi Starfighter, and that was a really big game for me. And I haven't played enough. I know Thaden's gonna be just thinking pissed off because we haven't played enough Squadrons yet. In fact, we played no Squadrons together yet. But we did play a lot of Battlefront 2, just specifically flying the missions over and over again. We knew who all the best players were. We played every night, and it was just awesome. And I really enjoy just aerial combat and ships, and I think that we get something really good out of this. I think we're going to get a really good film.
I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but Patty Jenkins said that this movie's actually this isn't a small scale Star Wars movie. It's a really big movie that they've already been working on for quite some time. We're talking years. And then she teased, we have a writer, but we're not ready to reveal who that is. And they're just finishing up the final draft now, apparently, which would make sense. Plus, let's be honest, whether they're doing the old motion capture or they're going to go CG route, this is the type of movie where if it's heavy space combat, it's going to take a long time to edit. It's not going to be your typical quick turnaround. For me, I have to think that it's going to be a writer of note to not announce the writer yet, but now you're going to announce the writer even though they're basically done the project very soon. So I think when they announce the writer, it's going to be someone we know, unless it's Rian Johnson. I mean, theoretically, he never said he was directing his movies. Just throwing that out there. So he said he might direct the first one.
It's George R. Martin.
Tell him to finish his fucking books.
Yeah, this movie's never coming out if it's him.
Everyone dies.
I'm just so stoked for this, guys. I wanted the Old Republic so bad, or something that was Force user heavy and not just two Force users. But I'll tell you what, a Rogue Squadron movie, I'm so fucking stoked. Who wants to jump in here next, guys? Rogue Squadron, Patty Jenkins.
Well, I mean, I guess I will, because nobody else seems excited about jumping in, so I will. And I'm just going to say it. I don't know. I mean, there is such a high margin of error here. I can't point to any movie about flying that's solely about that.
Top Gun, yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
I mean, okay, I'll give you that one.
All right, on to Thaden.
That's probably the only one that you can point to that's flying is a main part of that is good.
In fairness, we don't know
Starfighter.
if it's only going to be flying. You know, you could have a Jedi character as one of the pilots in Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not hyped for this. I'm not.
Oh, wow.
Answer my question about The Last Starfighter. That's a good movie.
I didn't like it.
I don't know if I've seen it.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, and I think that's part of the reason that I don't like it, because it's been so long since I've seen it.
It's great.
But I don't know. I'm torn on this. Like, you can make a big deal about this, and if it's not head and shoulders above anything we've ever seen, it's not going to be looked on well. There's a high margin of error for this, especially with space combat, which is something that they haven't exactly gotten right in cinema in the Disney era.
I'd say Rogue One was pretty close. As much as I had issues with Rogue One
really good.
at the beginning, I think the battle over Scarif was better than anything we've seen since A New Hope.
That's sadly the only example you can point to, despite space combat being a big part of the sequel trilogy.
You're not wrong. I don't think space combat was a big part of the sequel trilogy at all, to be honest.
Well, I mean a big part as far as it being grandiose, and it's supposed to be epic and large scale, and it was awful.
I think to battle your point, though, I would say because it's going to be the focus and the movie is called Rogue Squadron, that they can't get away with Poe Dameron shooting 12 people down in 45 seconds. Nope. This is not what this is going to be. To be honest, as good as Poe is, Poe never should have shot down 12 fucking ships in 45 seconds. That was as much as I love The Force Awakens, that was a complete fucking joke. And then what Poe does at the beginning of the Last Jedi is just, it's a mockery to Anakin and to Han and to Luke, who are all great pilots, and they just didn't want to spend much time or care with it. So everything was super small and super, fast. I don't think they're going to do that. And I would hope you're not wrong. Like, if they come out and do that, it's going to be a dud and not liked at all. But since it's the focus, I would hope that the daughter of an Air Force pilot, which, by the way, when George Lucas was doing the original trilogy fights, he used a lot of footage from old Air Force fights and basically mimicked them shot for shot. So I'm hoping it's great. I think that she has such a close connection with the family ties there. I think she's a brilliant director. I'm stoked. It pains me that you're not, Johnny, but at the same time, I get it. You can only be let down so many times before you're like, okay, prove something to me first. Thaden, please tell me you're going to bring more optimism to the table than what Johnny just did.
Well, I'm actually super excited. Yeah, no, I'm totally into this idea. I like that Rogue Squadron has just some inherent connection to Rogue One because Rogue Squadron. I like that idea. I hope it's something that's after the sequels, which is what it sounded like, the way that Kathleen Kennedy was wording how the movies are both going to be. She said, like, they're future Star Wars stories, which felt like she meant in universe they are in the future of what we've seen. So I guess it's still the past. But I hope they don't do like the super quick kind of combat that they did in the sequels. I like watching that combat, but it is different than watching the original movies and then playing the games too. Like playing Battlefront 2, which is a much more arcadey game than Squadrons. Even there, it's hard to get a thing where you get 10 kills in really quick succession against bots. And you have to imagine that real people fly better than bots and that their ships are stronger than those. So it feels weird when Poe Dameron shoots down that many ships, but really it's just it's a kid's movie. I don't care that much about that, so it doesn't bother me. But if it's the main focus, then I feel like they have to give it more weight. It has to feel less flimsy, like the ships aren't just going all around getting blown up all over the place. And I think I really like the idea of it being kind of, well, it's my idea of it kind of being like another sequel or like maybe starting a new trilogy. I don't know, but like a new time period for Star Wars and kind of being in episode 10 in a way, because the logo has a big giant X right in the middle. And that's the Roman 10. And I like to just think that they did that on purpose to be like, this is sort of episode 10, but sort of not. And yeah, that's a lot of my random thoughts.
If they did do that, I hope they go far enough where we don't see Rey or Poe or Finn or any of those characters.
You don't like those guys?
I like Poe Dameron, to be quite honest, and I don't mind Rey.
I'd be happy to see them, but I'd be happier probably if they distance themselves.
Oh.
Tommy, your thoughts on this announcement, which basically shocked everybody?
No, we're gonna see Rey as Rogue Leader.
Oh my god!
Why would Rey be Rogue Leader?
No, she does everything else, right? So I mean,
yeah, but she flies the Falcon, not an X-wing.
Don't get me started on her flying the Falcon.
Anyway,
she actually does have a hard time flying X-wings in the comics.
So I wouldn't mind seeing Poe, honestly. And yeah, the other, if it ended up becoming like a stream of movies, the others could appear in cameo roles. But I don't think any of them are really interested, to be totally honest with you. I want to see a true pilot's perspective. I want to see pilots as the main characters, not supporting characters, the main characters. I want to see the pilots, start the movie with their typical life, training, mess hall, what have you, and see them get into action, see them, on a mission. If it's going to be such a big thing, it's got to relate into, assuming it is post Rise of Skywalker, whatever's going on after that. And as things stand right now, I mean, including the novels, as far as I understand, we don't have anything Rise of Skywalker in canon currently.
Post Rise of Skywalker?
Nothing after.
No.
Or nothing significant, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's uncharted territory. So that's very exciting to me, especially to see it in a movie being offered in such a new, cool way, hopefully. You know, I was someone who was a real big fan of some of the pilot games. You know, you had the Naboo Starfighter, the Jedi Starfighter. I know Johnny hates everything. So
No,
he
actually,
hates those
I'm
too.
responding
It
to
makes
the
sense,
super
right?
chat that just came in.
Oh,
Squadron
God.
3D. So for real, yeah.
Intel Wild says a woman can't fly the Falcon, Sean. Hashtag Me Too movement. Sure. You
To
know,
be fair,
Not
I've
right.
heard no complaints about Han knowing how to fly the Falcon after living on one planet and not flying anything. Sean.
Jaina Solo, Leia Solo. I'm good with both of those characters flying the Falcon. But it is what it is. You know, no point, you know, getting pissed off about the sequel trilogy tonight. This is a positive night. Let's look forward to the stuff we have to come. I love you too, Intel, though. All right, guys, let's keep this ball rolling. Taika Waititi, who we thought had the next movie, does not have the next movie. In fact, his movie is slated for 2025, and at least that's the belief. And we didn't hear anything about his movie other than it be a typical Taika Waititi movie. There was some interesting brick Star Wars lettering that resembled like the old little Boba Fett cartoon thing. But I don't think that's the thing to take from it. The thing to take from it is when Kathleen Kennedy was talking about this, there's a pyramid in space, basically, which dates back to Mortis and some of the stuff that went on there. And so a lot of people far smarter than I really do believe Taika Waititi's movie is either going all the way back to Mortis and that story, or even further back to Tython and the battle that happened there with the Jedi, not Jedi to be confused, but the Jedi, which I believe in the comics is spelled G or Jedai or something. It sounds like Taika's movie, regardless of what it is going to be very out of the box. And being it's half a decade away, we know basically nothing. Does anybody have any thoughts on basically no information we got on Taika Waititi's movie?
I want to say it sounds like it'll be good because Taika Waititi is good at making movies. That's it. Also, it sounds like it might be a future movie too because she used the same wording.
I would assume that his schedule is pretty busy.
Oh, yeah, it is.
He makes a lot of his own stuff, comes up with a lot of shit, and this is not a project you just like, oh, yeah, it's a 3-month project, we'll bring a couple cameras, like, so I'm not worried. I'm sure it'll be great when we get there. I don't think it was delayed for any crazy reasons or anything. He's probably pretty busy.
No doubt, and he's got Thor: Love and Thunder. He's got something else as well, plus this. Plus, there's some rumors that he might be involved in an episode or two of Star Wars TV. So, as we know, he did the season finale last year of Mando. Anybody else have any thoughts on Taika, or can we keep moving?
He's doing a Star Wars film, and it's slated to come out in 2025. That's it.
Those are some very accurate thoughts, Johnny. Thank you.
That's the only thoughts we can have right now, because anything else is 1,000% pure speculation that we can spend doing another time we don't have more to talk about.
All right, let's get to what, in my opinion, is the main event announcement of everything we got. And, again, subjective. And that is Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, a special series event which will be 6 episodes long, reportedly between 60 to 90 minutes an episode. We'll see if they actually pay off on that. We got those reports about Mando Season 1, too. The big news here is Hayden Christensen's returning, which was rumored for a long time, so it is nice to have it officially announced. But the thing that caught everybody by surprise was Kathleen Kennedy's up there, and she's like, the last thing she says before we see the reel there or whatever is, this will be the rematch of the century. And even I was like, well, wait, what? And I'm like, okay, well, it's Kathleen Kennedy, and how many times did she talk out of turn? Quite a lot. Like her or hate her, she has put her foot in her mouth more than a few times. But then Ewan McGregor does an interview, which is released the next day, and says, no, Obi-Wan and Vader are going to take a swing at each other again. And then Deborah Chow comes out and says, or it might have been that same night, yeah, no, they're going to fight. Which is, it sort of brings up the debate that's happened for so long. Should there or should there not be another fight? A lot of people believe what Kenobi says in A New Hope. The last time we met, I was but the learner, now I am the master. Means they shouldn't. But then a lot of people point to what Kenobi tells Luke in Return of the Jedi, and what Vader tells Luke in Return of the Jedi, that would insinuate that they did meet again, but not any time recent. Regardless, guys, Deborah Chow knocked out, I believe it was episodes 3 and 6 of Mando Season 1, which were both really fucking good. 3 for sure. I know she did number 3. Maybe it was 3 and 7. Yeah, I think it was 3 and 7. She did the first half of the finale, right? Before Taika came in and finished it. Okay, so 3, because 6 was the Bill Burr episode, I think.
Yeah, it was.
But, I mean, I'm so on board with Deborah Chow doing this. By the way, shout out to some female Star Wars talent from behind the camera. You got Patty Jenkins, you got Deborah Chow, you have Ron Howard's daughter. I can never remember her first name. Bryce Dallas Howard, all doing just incredible things in Star Wars, which is just fantastic. Johnny and myself, and even Tommy to an extent, have been covering this Kenobi movie or Kenobi show for such a long time. It's finally happening. It's official. Sounds like, according to Emergency Awesome, it's going to debut between March and May 2022, as long as there's not any more pandemic setbacks. What's everybody think? You know, Hayden's back for sure, likely to appear in not only flashbacks, but in the suit itself, or back to tank or personal, chamber, whatever. Just how's everyone feeling about the show and the rematch of the century? Kieran, over to you first, man.
I like the idea that they're going to focus it around the fact that there's going to be a fight.
Was it you that said they were building it up like a boxing match?
It is. It's like a boxing match or an MMA match. Like they got a really good match between two of the biggest characters, and it's often the number one, when you're doing lightsaber battles, it's number one quite often, or top 3 almost every time. And, it doesn't really matter where the people are, or it doesn't matter where in the careers the MMA fighters or boxers are. They can always pull that name value and be like, hey, we're bringing this person back to fight this person. And you're like, oh, yeah, that was amazing fight last time. They've had so many fights. They had, like, Dan Henderson fought Bisping again because their first match was awesome. And, like, Henderson was, like, 40-something. And it was, like, just not, like, they were like, oh, well, it's a fight that everyone loved, and we're going to do it again because everyone loves it. And I think Henderson got a title shot when he had no business having it, if I'm remembering my MMA history. But I know we're not into that, but that's how it's being booked, is like, this was the awesome fight, and we're going to do it again. The only thing that bothers me is that I feel like we're getting this... We're getting the people who grew up in the prequel era. They're now the fans that control social media, and they're like, man, Hayden Christensen's coming back. And I'm like, that wasn't that great. Like, I'm glad that they're doing it, because then they would have to get someone that looks like him, and then we would get hey, but he was still, like, he's still around. Why didn't we get him? And I don't want to talk about it, but I don't know why people are so excited about it, because he was like, I watched a long video by a reputable Star Wars company or that makes videos about why Hayden Christensen was the perfect actor to play Anakin. And I bought 0 of it when I watched it. They tried really hard to be like, oh, but like this happened and he was taken when he was young and he's supposed to be robotic and unfeeling because this. It's like, you could make up all you want. You put bad acting on the screen, it's bad. Like, if they would have put good, like they could put someone who's really good at being, unfeeling or cold as you want. Like, you can get actors to do that without just being like, badly delivering their bad lines. And the lines were bad, but a good actor would have made them better. Like, I'm sure I can deliver.
Better director would have made it better too. As much as I love George Lucas, but like,
I could have delivered all of those lines better.
You know what I think? I think a lot of fans just want to see him back under someone else's direction to see what he can do. And I do think he'll be
a better actor now than he was at the time.
I do think he will be a lot better. I think you're going to see him in Flash. From what I understand, this one's been out there forever, Johnny. This one might have been out there when we first covered it in the back half of 2015. He's supposed to appear in the Clone Wars armor. Yeah. Like, it's not like this is new. This Hayden Clone Wars thing with whatever the Kenobi project is has been going on for half a fucking decade. That's how long they've been talking about this. So I'm excited to see that. But give me a scene where, like, he takes his mask off or something in front of Kenobi and he's like, you did this to me. Or basically, the Ahsoka Vader battle. I'm assuming you guys have all seen that from Rebels.
Yeah, you're talking about the smashed
the helmet.
Yes.
I could see that where his voice actually starts to come through, and you see part of his face. Or I think it happens in the Force Unleashed, the first game too, where the helmet comes off. I think you're going to see a scene like that. I don't think it's just going to be under the mask here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can foresee this is what you turned me into.
Yeah,
type conversation between the two, but I'm torn on this. Like, I mean, you're absolutely right that, Anakin appearing in an Obi-Wan project is a rumor as old as the Obi-Wan Kenobi project itself.
We only thought it was for flashbacks, though, when we were first talking about
very
this.
True.
Yeah.
And, I was all for those. I mean, I make no bones, I hate the prequels. But I hate them because they were poorly written. Shakespeare, they were not. I mean, I don't care who you are. Even Ewan McGregor had some stinkers, and it's because of the writing. And Ewan and Liam Neeson are two phenomenally talented actors that, you can still only get so much from so little. And I love George, but, he's a visionary, and I will fight that. He created this universe. He is a visionary. He is on par with Gene Roddenberry for universe creation. He's the only other person that I can put to that level, along with, I mean, I guess there are others in history. Lovecraft is another one.
Mm-hmm.
But they are on that level of universe creation, that they're few and far between for people that can create a universe as in-depth as those people have. And to have Roddenberry and Lucas doing it almost simultaneously is unfathomable, but it happened. But he's a visionary. He's not the details guy. He's not the... he shouldn't have written these. He shouldn't have directed these. But he took that this is mine and I'm the only one that can do it attitude, and it sunk him because the original trilogy proved that false. He let go of those reins and he let other people do it, and it was better than he could have imagined. Empire is one of the greatest films of all time because he let go of the reins and let somebody more skilled do their thing.
I could totally feel like they're like, well, how do we explain that? And he's like, oh, why don't we just get like midichlorians or like little tardigrades? It'll be cool. And it's like, he just like kind of like comes up with these like things. There's like, there's just, we'll just make up this thing. And like, he kind of like throws a Band-Aid on it. And then you're like, that's not good, but nobody tells him. I feel like he needs someone else. Like, he needs to be...
The problem was that he stopped for so long just dealing with the universe and let other people do it. That when he came back to it and was like, okay, this is... midichlorians...
What dumbass shit you sending me?
Midichlorians were always there. They always existed. It's just I never thought to tell you about them. That's great, but that's... you can't just drop this on us and be like, yeah, by the way, this is how it really works. It never worked.
Frank Riker says, so childish. Yes, Frank, it was. And I loved every second of it. He has an idea. He looked down. I sent him a photo of it. I don't know if the rest of the guys have any idea what I was doing, though.
I want to go.
Well, I saw it.
If you just do it
Yeah,
again,
he got
then
tired
we'll
of
get
looking
it.
at Johnny, so he brought me up on the screen while I'm looking down at my phone and covered my face with the banner.
Really quickly, I
It
also
looks
Real
quite
well
nice. I mean, it's funny.
I want to point out that
I mean, that's not what I would have done with that weird phallic syndrome looking thing.
I want to point out that Emergency Awesome is also reporting that even though it's not confirmed yet, apparently Liam Neeson has signed on to be in the show as well.
I am
So
here for that.
So it's been a long time since Qui-Gon's appeared, and I think that it would be fitting. Thaden, what are your thoughts, man? The series, the rematch, the whole thing's like one giant orgasm, fangasm, stargasm,
My
Kenobgasm.
thoughts are the same as a lot of those, and a lot of the ones that everyone has said here. So I want to mention this idea that I had. It feels sort of weird now that it's been pointed out how much older Obi-Wan feels in Episode 4 than in Episode 3. It's been 20 years, but it feels like it's been like
50
30 or 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feels like it's been a long time. So I hope that the rematch of the century ends with Vader like breaking Obi-Wan's bones and leaving him to die somewhere or something. And that's why Obi-Wan, like, he's not really capable of doing too much physical stuff by the time of Episode 4. I think that would be like a crazy surprise. It would explain that pretty well, even though it doesn't necessarily need explaining. If you don't put it in, that's fine. And like it would be really cool, like as a parallel. Like, what if he like breaks his arms and legs and just leaves them somewhere? He's like, "You left me to die. Now I'll leave you to die."
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
Like-
not unheard of over the last
It'd
week.
be brutal.
The one thing I've heard out there a lot is you have this battle between Obi-Wan and Vader, and this one sort of ends kind of in a stalemate where maybe Obi-Wan takes off Vader's helmet, and but during the process of doing so, Vader like really hurts him physically badly, but almost spares him, like spares his life and walks away. So that line in A New Hope where he's like, "You should not have come back," like almost, okay, I spared you once,
Yeah.
and this time
Last
I'm
time
not
it didn't
sparing
go
you.
well, you shouldn't have tried again.
So
So we're gonna turn.
I
mean,
really
if-
want that to happen.
if
I
last
love
time he
Obi-Wan,
was still
but I
the
want to
learner,
see him
then
get
that-
broken.
If he was still but the learner last time, then that would imply that Kenobi schooled him again.
I kind of do expect
I-
Kenobi to come
I
out.
still feel like there's room for that line because Vader is still a learner of the dark side at that time. It's been 10 years, but I mean, it's 10 years later by the time they meet in A New Hope. So
No, he
still,
was the learner. He was learning from Kenobi.
I think that I don't know
yeah,
necessarily
but I
think
mean,
it
there's a
mean
fight anyways.
yeah,
It has to happen, so it has
right.
to kind of do something with that line.
Yeah, I don't want to see Obi-Wan and Darth Vader turn into Bane and Batman.
Maybe Anakin will be like at the board and Kenobi will be like, "See, this is where you broke my femur here, and this is how you like." He'll still be teaching about how he whooped his ass.
It's going to be interesting in the footage for this that we did not get to see. Ewan McGregor starts off by saying, "Our journey starts off on Tatooine." But he definitely comes out with Kenobi leaves Tatooine, you know. So the whole myth that, or belief that Kenobi has spent every waking second on Tatooine for these last 19 years is going to go out the window. But they show a watery planet, apparently, in the preview. And I can't help but wonder, I mean, I know it could be Kamino, it could be Manon, could be somewhere new. But I like the idea that Kenobi and Vader aren't going to fight on Tatooine and could be fighting somewhere else. So I think Kieran's spot on when he says they're building it up like a boxing match and an MMA match. Because like I never thought they were going to be like, oh yeah, by the way, rematch of the century. I didn't think they were going to fight. I thought we were going to have Obi-Wan dealing with PTSD and seeing either hallucinations of Anakin or just flashbacks, which we're apparently going to get. but I'm also totally on board for a fight because for years there's been the speculation, did they fight again like halfway between the movies? Like a decade or 9 years anyway, which is how far they'd be away from A New Hope. It's still a long time to go without seeing someone. A lot of shit can happen in 9 years.
Okay, I'm predicting the penultimate episode we get the Rocky 2 freeze frame ending. Obi-Wan and Anakin just like lightsabers, like, and that's it. That's the end of the episode.
That's Rocky 3.
Some awesome like 80s music.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's Rocky 3.
Shut up.
Wayne Gotke! Wayne Gotke is in the house.
After the Clubber Lang fight.
That
Shut
makes
up.
sense.
How's it going, Wayne? Long time no see, my friend. Wouldn't Darth Maul be stalking Kenobi as well? Well, this is the other interesting thing that Thane's not going to like, is apparently Darth Maul may appear too. So could you imagine if the Obi-Wan and Vader fight results in like some sort of 3-way confrontation between them, where it's the first ever Star Wars triple threat lightsaber battle match, where everybody's out for their own selves?
I don't want that.
I think Vader would just like force push him away and be like, "This is my fight." Oh, you are amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just looked up because I
Sean,
thought that the
you got
line
a
was
good one.
different. The I was but the learner line. Vader says, "When I left you, I was but the learner," which is still true no matter what. It has nothing to do with the last time they met.
Whatever.
So that line isn't broken no matter what.
Go, get out of here.
I watched the scene.
Don't you bring your facts into this argument of fiction.
I'm good with all of that now, as long as Darth Maul doesn't fucking show up.
Well, you know who else has signed on for the series? This one's been confirmed. Tim Morrison has signed on for the Kenobi show, but we believe
It's supposed to be a clone. Yeah.
it's as Commander Cody, and there's these Jedi hunters that sound a lot like the Republic Commando team going around hunting down the Jedi. And
I got excited. Sad.
When they showed these Jedi hunters too, by the way, in the teaser footage, or the not teaser, what's the word for it? Sizzle reel. And when I bring up Republic Commando and Commander Cody possibly leading them, Tommy, I got to go to you, man. You're a huge Republic Commando fan.
Just wait. Every single clone is going to be overweight now.
Well, no, I'm guessing Commander Cody's going to have his helmet on. Morrison's just going to be voicing him. Holy crap, that popcorn. Whew. Tommy, what do you think? Just the whole thoughts of the rematch of the century, the Republic Commando Jedi Hunters led by Commander Cody, Hayden Christensen, a lot to unpack there, man.
Honestly, it's challenging because I don't even think in the Legends canon we had Cody post episode 3. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think we did. So it's definitely something to look forward to. The rematch, it's all framing. They could have done it. They could have just kept things the way it was. I'm excited for it. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I don't want Maul to be there. He gets his time later. And actually, based
but what if
off
it's a
of how
Sam Witwer
Rebels
Maul?
What if it's what?
Well, I don't think they're going to cast Ray Park at anything ever again. So what if it's a Sam Witwer Maul?
I don't care.
Okay.
Good.
No. And, based off of the way Rebels treated it, him finding out with the holocron vision, I guess you could have played it like, oh, well, no, he actually thought he was dead from this time instead, rather than Order 66. But I just kind of like things the way they are now. So
I get it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like seeing Morrison, being utilized more and more with new Star Wars content. And
dude's going to be busy.
Hope he keeps coming back for as long as he's willing.
I was going to say, that guy is going to be busy. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to do it for the Kenobi talk for now, which is crazy. Finally, officially announced. Last year, it's Ewan McGregor as Kenobi announced. That's when the show was going to be about Obi-Wan fighting a Tusken Raider leader who used to be a Jedi. That's no more. They scrapped that whole plot, which is kind of funny. So I'm guessing Deborah Chow, and this is before Deborah Chow was involved too, so I'm guessing Deborah Chow has basically came in and said, yeah, you know what, let's do Obi-Wan versus Vader again, and here we are. And, I don't think you're going to have a whole lot of people complaining about it. It's going to be spectacular. Absolutely phenomenal. Let's keep moving on, though, to the Leslie Headland show. This show takes place in the final days of the High Republic, and as it came out today, it'll be set about 100 years before the events of Star Wars A New Hope. Meaning, could you possibly see young Palpatine and Plagueis involved in this at all? Who knows how old Palpatine really is at this point, and if the dark side allows him to live longer, or is it going to be about Plagueis and another character? I don't know, but what I do know is it's in the High Republic. It's a different time period. It's a show about a dark side force user, and we're actually telling a story from their perspective from once instead of the good guy perspective, which is always what Star Wars has been. Absolutely cannot wait for this. If you look at the logo, it clearly looks like a lightsaber has slashed part of the logo. I could not be more excited about this. I have not seen Leslie Headland's series, Russian Dolls? But from what I understand, it's pretty fucking dope. I believe that's the series where the girl dies a different way every episode. And I definitely want to check that out now that she's doing this. Thaden, I know you've been jumping at the bit to get to this one, man. So your thoughts on The Acolyte?
This is by far my most anticipated show. Like, not just Star Wars. This is definitely my most anticipated show. Getting a series that's about the Sith during a time when the Sith have to be secret is awesome. It's about an acolyte, probably. So she's like an apprentice. I said she. I think the director's a she, so I'm just saying she for now. It sounds like she'll have to be like an apprentice learning the ways of the Sith and trying to be sneaky and stuff around the Jedi, which is awesome. That's a lot of the stuff that I loved from the Bane books, is when they're being sneaky around the Jedi, because it raises the tension all the time when you think they might get caught, and it's just so cool. I think this show could end, like the series could end with Plagueis being involved. I don't think Palpatine will be, but I think Plagueis could be as the Acolyte's apprentice when the Acolyte is eventually, like a master or something. And yeah, I'm super excited also because this show is going to introduce the first real new Sith that we've gotten since like 2012. We got the Sith Inquisitors, but they're not really Sith. They're just Imperials who use the Force and red lightsabers. And that's it. Kylo Ren's not a Sith. Snoke is not really a Sith. I mean, maybe, I guess, he could have been, but I don't think he was. Palpatine came back, but that was
hang on a second.
We got nothing.
I don't want to venture down like a whole nother path, but haven't we already established that Snoke is not Snoke and is in fact just Palpatine?
Well, Snoke is a clone.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
As much as the clones, but he's a clone as much as the clones, I think, like the clone troopers. But he's probably being like pretty heavily controlled by Palpatine all the time.
All right, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing the boat on something.
Are the clone troopers all the same clone trooper? They all have
they're definitely different people, but like I think he's controlled by Palpatine directly or indirectly. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. So this is going to be the first new Sith we get, and if it goes the way that I'm hoping it'll go, it'll be the Acolyte is the new Sith, and the Acolyte's master, and the Acolyte's apprentice, which is hopefully Plagueis. So we could get 3 new Sith. I'm so excited.
Oh my god! You know what? That'd be cool if this show was about Plagueis' master, and it introduces Plagueis, which eventually leads into. There's so many possibilities. Just
That's what I'm hoping for, and it could be like, it can tie into the High Republic too, which I think might be coming to an end-ish. I don't know if it'll ever truly end. They might just keep making High Republic stories, but the main events could be coming to a conclusion at that point, and it could tie into those and have to do with the books. You could see characters from the books, and it would be like, oh my god.
By the way, we don't have time to get
for this show.
We don't have time to get to this today. We'll address it more next week. But non-spoiler reviews are out for the first batch of High Republic books. even though they're not going to be released for a bit yet. And these are non-Star Wars people reviewing them too, by the way. And the reviews are off the charts. They're saying it's the best Star Wars novel material, basically next to Timothy Zahn. So that's exciting. I mean, all new characters were so.
That makes me even more happy about this show. Yeah, I'm by far the most excited for this. Plus, it's a new era, and we haven't seen that with our eyes since 2015.
I like the idea that even though it belongs to Disney now, that we're going to go tell a story from a villain's perspective. And as you said, like they're in secret right now, so that's going to be almost like some Sith spy shit. So
yeah, the Acolyte's probably going to be more of a like a sympathetic character than most villains, because as the main character you kind of have to be, but they could still do some dark stuff because it's a Sith. Like, it's probably going to get darker and darker as the show goes on, I think, which is so cool. Anyways, let someone else talk. I'm really excited.
It's funny, on our podcast, on me and Thaden's podcast, two of the things that we predicted was Thaden said it would be really cool to have a Sith show, trying to figure out what they did in between the time when they were, around and the time when they were gone forever, according to the Jedi. And one of the other things that I pitched out there was that they should have a Lando show where he explains all the ridiculous things that he says. So it's possible we get both of the shows that me and Thaden pitched.
Yep.
So I thought
pretty
that was
much
pretty
exactly
funny. Yeah, almost exactly what we pitched. It's pretty funny. And these were just kind of our wish list fun stuff. So
yeah, I never thought this would actually happen ever, because Disney doesn't do that. They advertised Battlefront 2 as that, and it totally wasn't at all.
So, I guess when it comes to the show, I'm excited because I actually do, as much as I always talk about how much I like the Jedi, the Sith are the opposite side of the coin that makes it work. So I do hope that there maybe is a Jedi character involved. Obviously, I feel like that Jedi character would have to die or not want to reveal anything about the Sith, because obviously they do have to stay under wraps. I would like to see this Sith character, as more a sympathetic character, and maybe going through ancient texts and revealing truths about the Sith that we don't know. I think it'll be interesting.
We know from the preview for the High Republic that they're starting to send Jedi out towards the unknown regions to try to establish territory more. So there's plenty of room for lightsaber duels and killing Jedi and all that stuff. Johnny, your thoughts on what is turned out to be quite the intriguing project?
I'm here for this because of so many things you guys have said. We don't get to see the story told from the perspective of the villain at all, ever. The closest you could argue is the prequel trilogy being told from Anakin's perspective, basically. And, that was the story of his descent, not him already being there. So I'm intrigued by this story. There's so many possibilities on the table here. Just putting it in that era where right now we know zero. We know nothing because there's nothing out yet. We know the Jedi are still at their peak. We know that, the Sith are in the background doing Sith things because that's just what we know. We know that, at the end of the High Republic, we're not far from the ascent or have already seen the ascent of Darth Plagueis. Possibly even Palpatine himself. We don't know anything about this era, so there's so many question marks that are going to be interesting about how this story gets told. I'm intrigued by this so much because there's so many possibilities. We know nothing. The extent of knowledge from the Sith timeline goes from Darth Bane to Darth Plagueis. Everything in between those two are unknown. We know nothing about those thousands of years between those two Sith lords.
Not to mention, we don't know much about Plagueis in terms of the new canon either.
Exactly. We know the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. That's it. So
there's just so many possibilities with this show. Tommy B, your thoughts on the Acolyte, man?
Yeah, I don't have much else to say. I'm excited to hear that the High Republic, the new books, are being well received, and I guess I'll add it to the pile of books I need to read, but don't have time to read. It was just said pretty damn well, you know. It goes from Bane, who in this current canon we also don't know much about, to Plagueis, who we know the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, and that's it. That level of flexibility gives them, I'll dare say, the opportunity to not only recreate the Sith when looking at it from a wider canon perspective, but even do more than has ever been done before in Star Wars. The Acolyte is an exciting concept, and well, I just hope they don't blow it. You know, there's a lot of moving pieces here, a lot of things in the oven, baking in the oven. So I just hope they don't blow it.
I mean, I get it. I mean, they could easily go down the wrong path there. So I just want to let people know right now, things we're not going to touch on during this is we're not going to touch on Visions this week, and we're not going to touch on a droid story. If people want to comment on it, we can talk about it more next week. We probably won't even give Lando much time, to be honest. We'll talk about it briefly, but we're running out of time here quickly. Bad Batch. This is where I can honestly say I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. And I had no interest in seeing the Bad Batch at all. I was the guy going, who asked for this show again? Like, why do we need it?
Nobody.
And
it was the show nobody asked for.
And then you see the 80-second teaser, and you find out that, oh, this takes place, it's going to start off with Order 66. And just, I mean, the 80-second animated teaser blew me away. Obviously, you see Fennec Shan in there. I did not expect to be blown away. It really does feel like a sequel to the Clone Wars. And I like, just in general, I was wrong, and I'm now looking very forward to this. Kieran?
I said this before when I heard about the Bad Batch in the first place. They need to do something with those characters, because the characters are all kind of like parodies or kind of a joke. I mean, the leader is obviously Rambo, just like doesn't. The sniper is just a sniper. He's very cold. He seems like he's, he's just. It's just the character you would expect. They have the big beefy character. I forget what his name is. He can lift up a ship, or he turns a ship over. But like, he was totally like, like, yeah, I can do this. I'm strong. Woo! Like, there was no substance behind the character. I'm glad that we have, I think Fives is in it, right? Correct?
Yep.
So that will help, because that character
Echo.
has a lot of history
Echo
and is a very important character to people who are clone fans.
Fives is dead.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Echo.
Echo. Okay, Echo. Yeah. Sorry. Why am I confused?
Get your clones right.
Yeah. Whatever.
I make that mistake all the time too.
Well, not only that, I'm not a big fan of clone characters. I like them for their purpose, but I'm not super into any of them. Anyways, so those characters need to be fleshed out and turned into something that I want to watch, which is totally doable. I'm not low on it at all. They just need to be careful to not just be like, hey, we're going to keep these characters as is and put them through fun stuff. They need to make sure that they overhaul the characters and give them a little bit more substance. But other than that, I mean, it's a continuation of Clone Wars. I don't think people will ever stop asking for a continuation of Clone Wars. It doesn't matter how much of a definitive end you give to people. They're going to be like, what about this character? Where does it end? Like it's it's
What
gonna
about
keep
Meaver
going.
Gascon?
Yeah. What about Meaver Gascon? He better be in the show. In fact, I think he's the leader of the Bad Batch.
Oh my god.
He was in every shot of that trailer. You just probably didn't notice him.
I hope. Meaver Gascon.
So Wayne Gawke sends in a $5 super chat. I don't know which of the 10 shows you want him in, but Mace Windu will return. I'm convinced that he's evil as fuck with everything he's been through. I would argue that Mace Windu was already evil as fuck, to be quite honest. And one of the things that was very wrong with the Jedi Order.
Yes.
Yep.
If he did survive the fall, though, and they weren't going the route of a Obi-Wan Vader rematch, I would have loved to see Mace just try to like hunt down Obi-Wan, finds out he's alive or something, and looking over Anakin's son and have Obi-Wan feed him his breakfast one final time. Maybe throw Windu out a window. Also, this dropped today. I didn't see this, and I don't know where the interview's from, but Leslie Headland said, "I'm the type of Star Wars fan that doesn't even have a favorite movie. I just want to live in the universe of Star Wars continually, in perpetuity, forever. So when people are like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, there is no Star Wars movie. There's only Star Wars."
I saw this earlier. It got me so happy.
Yeah, I dig that. I dig that. Let me tell you, I didn't buy the whole Force is female nonsense. It's not male either. The Force is the Force. You can have female creators, male creators, you name it. But I do love that there are female creators dipping their toes in Star Wars, getting to show off what they're able to do. Johnny, Bad Batch, did it win you over?
It didn't have to. I was already sold.
Okay, so what the fuck you do?
No, I mean, I was already excited because I enjoyed the characters in the Clone Wars when we got to see them, and seeing those, they were different. So they were clones, but they were different, and that was something I enjoyed because a lot of the clones were very stagnant. They were all similar. They were all the same, with little tiny differences in their personalities, and it wasn't enough to make them individuals. I mean, yes, you differentiated them with names, but that's it. What's really different between Fives and Cody? What's really different between Rex and Echoes? There's really not much at the end of the day that differentiates them, other than their names and titles. So adding the Bad Batch was fun because they were different. They were faulty. They weren't your average clones, and I enjoyed that because they were different. They had personality. They had, they were all different. And, granted, yes, there was a lot of parallels, I mean, you had your Rambo and your Cold Sniper and, Hulk Smash, but they were different from what we had established, and I enjoyed that, and I'm still excited for that, and, getting to see these clones in a post-Order 66 world is going to be interesting, because what comes next?
Very, very true. Tommy B, thoughts on the Bad Batch?
I was pretty excited for it early last week, or whenever it was, that I did the Season 7 watch through. Shit, that might have been the day of. I don't remember anymore. I revisited the arc, and in my opinion, I gave it a fair run-through. Because when we were watching the Bad Batch arc, it's the first arc you see, we're excited for better shit. We're waiting to see Ahsoka. We're waiting to see Ahsoka versus Maul, the Siege of Mandalore, and Bad Batch was good. I would, it ranks in the middle for me of the arc, above the Ahsoka and Trace and whatever her name, the other sister's name arc. But that really helped me. It won me over, and I am looking forward to seeing a continuation of the Clone Wars. I was actually calling it that before the whole sizzle reel kind of spun the whole logo fade burn sort of thing. So that was pretty cool to see that happen, kind of like a nod to that. And there's just so much they can do here, and I thought they kind of already alluded that Clone Force 99 would be ending up deserting somehow. I'm starting to think I was mistaken in that. I'm thinking they're going to be in Imperial for a while, and maybe even half leaves, half stays. Maybe they end up fighting each other. They could probably make this go on for as long as they want. There's a billion different directions they can take this. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I wasn't high on it, and now I'm pretty excited. Thaden, finish us off, man.
Yeah, I am. I think I'm in pretty much the same boat. I'm excited for it to be kind of season 8 of Clone Wars. I'm excited that it's gonna actually be able to focus only on the Bad Batch rather than being like, here's some Ahsoka episodes, here's some Anakin episodes, here's some, whatever. It's called the Bad Batch. It has to be the Bad Batch every episode. So I'm happy to see that, especially if it ends up being like a 12-episode season again instead of 22, which I doubt it'll be 22. And I'm happy to see Fennec Shand in it. I always like connections between different parts of the world, even if it's all TV. Seeing Fennec Shand 28 years before she shows up in Mandalorian, or at least her armor that long before she shows up in Mandalorian, is really cool. And I don't know, it's cool to see characters like at different times in their lives. It's one of the things I like about Boba Fett, even though I don't love Boba Fett in Clone Wars, is you get to see him as a different person at the beginning of that show and at the end of that show, and then in the comics after that, and now in Mando. I like that we're going to see some characters show up again in different times of their life, and I feel like she's probably not the only one. We might see, I don't know, maybe Mace Windu shows up in this show. Something like that. I don't know.
In Mando,
I'm excited.
In Mando, Fennec Shand seems to be like a legendary character too, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of room for her
she
to
must
do
have
things.
started early at her legend.
It makes sense. All right, guys, let's keep this ball rolling. We really got to speed through these two and Mando pretty quickly. All right, so Andor, which is the official title name for the Cassian show. Another show that's kind of like, does Cassian really need his own show? But the way they presented that show sold me immediately. One, Tony Gilroy back doing it. He did the Bourne movies. The fact that we know it's going to be 12 episodes long, which was a bit of a surprise. They're really going hard with the whole Rebel spy thing, basically saying that this is going to be Star Wars version of James Bond or Mission Impossible. I'm between that and Diego Luna, who I think is a wonderful actor. They found a way to turn me around on this, and I'm actually quite excited for this project now. And is it at the top of my list? No, it's probably not even in the top 3 or 4, but I think it has a chance to be something special. And a lot of people thought this was coming out in 2021. It will not. In fact, this is going to be 2022, probably because it's going to take them a while to shoot the 12 episodes. And unlike most of their stuff, which is using the stagecraft, a lot of Andor is using actual set pieces and locations, so which makes it a little more difficult to get around during this time. But Kieran, what do you think of Andor, man?
Oh, actually, this is my number one project, which probably sounds weird, but I don't know. I really want to see what happens for them to, get deep into the rebellion and not like almost in a way where, they do whatever it takes. Like, that's what that character is. So far, the character is that he did a lot of bad things to get to where he was. And he does things that, you would think that he would regret, but he didn't regret it because it was all leading up to what happened. And it worked. It was a big... it was something that was mentioned in the original trilogy that, it took a lot to get plans and things like that. And so that's why I was really excited when the Rogue One movie came out, and I really like Diego Luna, and when you see interviews and things like that, he is very passionate, just like we were talking about Patty Jenkins. He's very passionate about Star Wars and loves being part of the Star Wars world, and he's going to put everything into it. And, it doesn't mean that it's going to come off awesome. I'm not saying it's totally definitely going to be awesome, but I am more psyched for this than I am for any other show. And I can't even, like, beyond those elements, I can't really put my finger on why, but...
Well, it sounds like it's going to be heavy with the rebellion, and we're going to jump into the political side of things with Mon Mothma, and obviously the Imperials are going to be front and center, and there's been teases that you might see Vader, you might see Palpatine, you might, see a bunch. You might see Boba Fett.
Don't want to see any of that. I really would like this to be not involving any of the big characters. I think that we need to keep it its own story, and I hope that this is not one that ends up being part of the shared universe in any way. I mean, it could be hinted towards, or whatever. I obviously it's not the same timeline, but I mean, I still think that they're going to connect Kenobi in some sort of way. He's going to do something that affects, the future, and something's going to happen. I don't want this to affect any other property in any way, except for, Rogue One.
Now that you bring it up, I completely spaced out on this. In the Kenobi show, apparently we're going to see Anakin's temple raid, which was, they didn't want to show in Revenge of the Sith. George thought it was too dark. But apparently we're going to see it in the show, which makes me wonder, okay, Grogu, are we going to see him escape? Interesting. That could be the tie-in. Johnny, thoughts on Andor, man?
It's still a nah for me. I mean, I'm intrigued, but I'm not excited. I mean, there was just so much wrong with Rogue One for me that I just, you hit it pretty well when you said, who cares? I didn't ask for this. I didn't want this. I still don't. On the scale of things that were announced last week, or, further confirmed or further discussed, like Andor, if any one individual project they were to announce tomorrow is no longer going to be completed, and it was Andor, I wouldn't give a rat's tuchus. I'm not invested in this at all.
Johnny, we didn't ask for popcorn, but it was pretty good.
You're comparing apples to oranges, Chief. I mean, but no, you're right. I mean, it could turn out to be just the same. Just because it announced it doesn't mean I'm not going to enjoy it. But I'm not hyped for it. So if it were to get canceled without us having seen an episode, it would be no hair off my back. I wouldn't, I'd just keep moving forward. There'd be no angry tirades on Twitter. No me up in arms on the podcast. Why did you cancel that show? No, I don't care. If it happens, it happens. And if I enjoy it, fantastic. But if I don't, I'm not going to be hurt. I'm not going to be offended. I'm just going to be like, yeah, this is about what I expected.
Well, let's try to move on to someone probably more positive. Satan.
I'm a negative today.
Well, I think this show has a chance to sort of fix some of the stuff that I think is wrong with Rogue One too. That movie to me feels like it's the last part of a story. Like it feels like it's episode 3 of the Rogue One story. And it kind of is. If you read Catalyst and Rebel Rising, 2 prequel books to Rogue One, they have a lot of stuff that kind of comes up in Rogue One, and it feels like you should have read those before you see that movie. Otherwise, only the finale part of the movie feels really great. And I do like that movie, but yeah. So that's cool. But that being said, my opinion on this show has changed, not at all since hearing more about it. I am not more excited. I am not less excited. I'm happy to know that it's going to be 12 episodes, not 8. But that is the only thing that I really had any reaction to in this show. So, yeah.
Alrighty. Tommy, Andor.
Well, you already know my opinion. It's pretty similar to Johnny's opinion.
Alrighty then.
I think I'm more excited for the other projects because we know less about them. Andor, I didn't really like Cassian as a character. He could start better in Andor, and I'll watch it because it's Star Wars and it's live action. It'll be cool, hopefully. But look, the thing is, we all know how Rogue One starts with Cassian and how he is throughout most of the movie. By the time that series ends, Cassian Andor's got to be a shitbag. He shoots his own friendly in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's good enough. That sums it up for me.
Alrighty, quick thoughts, guys, on Lando. Then we got to move on. We're saving the other two for next week. My only thought on Lando is this: I basically do think it's going to be Donald Glover, and I think this is basically how they get their Solo too. Is they're going to tell stories, and Kieran's probably going to hate this, but it's probably going to feature Darth Maul and that group. What's the group's name again?
Crimson Dawn.
Crimson Dawn. I absolutely do think you're going to see Alden Ehrenreich pop up. I think basically this is Solo 2 as a TV show. Thaden?
Yeah, I am in the same boat. I love that. I like Solo a lot, and I wanted it to get a sequel, and this counts for me. Like, I want to see the story continue because it feels so weird that Maul was set up clearly trying to set something up. And then next time we see him, he is definitely not the leader of any criminal anything. He's just a dude hiding in an underground pyramid, sort of. It's weird. So yeah, I think this has a chance to kind of fix that. And since it's not Solo 2, it's a Lando show, Lando could totally interact with Maul, and that wouldn't do anything weird with how Han is so skeptical about the Force. Like, Lando could see someone use the Force, and it wouldn't make any lines weird in the original trilogy, I don't think.
I've never bought into
And,
that.
like,
I think
cool.
Han can see people use the Force, but he doesn't necessarily think there's
That's
one
true.
mystical force controlling everything, kind of what he says to Obi-Wan.
That's true,
He
too,
knows
yeah.
Obi-Wan's a Jedi. I mean, he pulls up the fucking lightsaber right at Mos Eisley Cantina. Which, by the way, it's just like Obi-Wan's just kind of like at that point, yeah, whatever. I'm not trying to hide this anymore. I'm game. Let's go die.
He's not worried because he's still on Tatooine, and Lord knows Vader's never going to come to that planet because it's sandy.
Except for he ended up coming to that planet to force choke Jabba the Hutt, and this is canon.
Yeah, but this was, it hadn't happened yet, so.
What did that come out of?
I think it's one of the Vader
Vader
comics. So
Yeah, one of them. I can't remember which one.
I haven't
Sweet.
read them, but it's one of the newer ones because those are the ones that I haven't read.
$10 super chat
Oh, yeah,
sent in
so-
by Intel Wild for Fandom and the Empire. Even if you're talking about Star Wars. Thanks, brother. Appreciate the support. Final thoughts, Aiden?
Yeah, I am super excited for this. I hope it's like the Calrissian Chronicles. I want it to actually be called that, but I think it's going to just stay Lando. I want it to be like Billy D. Williams, there and like talking to someone about his stories or something, and then flashback to Donald Glover Lando. But if it's not that, I'm fine with that too.
It'd be crazy. It'll never happen, but like
Little Ben, his stories.
I was gonna say episode 1 of the Lando show starts, and there's like a campfire somewhere outside the Falcon, and Billy D comes walking.
I don't see Lando anywhere near a campfire in the forest.
Billy comes down, walking down the ramp, and Chewie's there, and little Ben's there, and you have Harrison Ford as Han, and he's like, "So let me tell you a story," and then it goes down
about
into
the time I
don't think Harrison
did
Ford will.
this.
no, it would kill their
I
budget.
just had a shocking realization that Hondo could very easily appear in this show many times, which is great, and that's all.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think Hondo's gonna pop up in Mando.
I'm
think
all
he
for
could.
Hondo and Lando.
I don't know. I have a hard
That'd be
time
fun.
thinking they could use Hondo and Mando for anything more than a throwaway character, just based off of when the story takes
That's
place.
basically
think
what
he would
Hondo
be a
is,
throwaway
to be
character.
honest.
I think he could
So-
show up.
I think he could show up as the crowbar in a specific type of episode very easily.
Kieran, Johnny, Tommy, any thoughts on Lando before we move on to Mando?
I'm all for it.
I'm not going to touch on the fact that you said Darth Maul. I'm just going to stay away from that. However, I do think this show should start off. Have you seen Donald Glover's music video for that This Is America song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he should be dancing like he is at the start of that with no shirt while he's picking out his cape for that day. Like, he needs to be just like popping
Want
and
that.
locking and just like going, and then all of a sudden he's like, okay, nope. Like he's like going through the whole giant cape closet, and he's just like dancing and super happy. Like that's how it
That would
needs to open up the show. Just like a crazy turn where like we're not getting anything Star Wars at all. We're just getting like Lando going cape shopping.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I also want flashbacks featuring L3 because I need more L3 in my life.
You have L3. L3 is the Falcon.
That I mean the actual physical embodiment of
Yeah.
L3.
It's dead.
She's dead. DEAD.
Yeah, you know, like a robot we can't bring back, but a fucking stupid. No, stop. Nope. Let's
You're
go
going down
on.
the mall, right?
Let's move on.
Are we good to go on? You guys want to talk
No,
Mando
move
now?
on.
Mando.
Can we talk Mando? Or does anybody want to chime in on Lando one more time? Or can we move from Lando to Mando?
I think we can go from Lando to Mando.
Alrighty.
Childish Mandino.
Alrighty, guys. It's time for Mandalorian Chapter 15, The Believer. We're going to have to keep this really short. We're at the 2-hour mark, guys. So we're literally, it's going to come to you once. Say what you thought about the episode, and then we'll score it. I'll start. This is my second least favorite episode this season. My least favorite was probably the Spider episode, even though I liked it, which means I liked this episode too. But it had a heart, like it had to live up to the last two episodes, which like good luck. But I mean, Boba Fett's painted matte armor. I believe they probably just did it because it looks like it fits better on Tim Morrison, which means it's probably a whole different armor piece and not the same one Timothy Oliphant was wearing. But in the story, you know, I think it looks cool. Nothing wrong with him touching it up. I believe he also painted Slave 1, if I recall. I'm pretty sure it's green and red now. So I dug that. Pedro Pascal without the helmet was fantastic. And Bill Burr, I know Kieran wants to do a big thing on him. I liked Bill Burr in the first episode as like, hey, this guy's an asshole and he plays a prick that I really don't like. In this episode, I felt like I really connected with his character and that the performance was the best part of the episode. And we get to the part where, you know, he's talking to the dude from Batman Begins who killed.
It was Joe Chill.
Yeah, and he shoots him, and you're almost expecting like Pedro Pascal to be like, "What are you doing?" But he's just sort of like, "Yeah, okay, I'm cool with it." And I dug it. Their chemistry was great, and I never thought I'd say this, but I want more Bill Burr now. I want more Mayfield, and it looks like that's a possibility. Kieran, over to you, man.
I'm just trying to propose a couple's vacation with Jade, but
Oh,
I guess I'll go back to doing this.
the
I know that
fiancé?
everyone's gonna touch on all the other points. I just want to specifically say that the reason Bill Burr was good in this is because he was Bill Burr. His character was much more closely linked to his actual personality. Like, if you hear Bill Burr's comedy, it very much resembled that. You're like, oh, so now like you can take the helmet off. You can take the helmet off and put on a stormtrooper helmet. What is that? I thought your code was don't take the helmet off. No, it's actually, it's I can't see my face. Which one is it? You know, like people will change what they think, like when it suits them. That's what Bill Burr is all about. And sometimes he crosses the line too much for me as a comedian, but that's who he is. He says like, hey, you guys think you're so high and mighty. Well, what happens when this happens? You know, he'll say things to people who think they're kind of woke and bring out the like, oh yeah, well, what's going to happen when this happens? You're not going to be like that. So it was much more linked to his character. And he did that scene where he ends up shooting everybody was not quite in his wheelhouse. And he did a fantastic job. I thought it was awesome. He did great. I thought that he was fantastic and he was the star of the episode. The part of the end where he was like, you're going to let me go? For serious? For keepsies? Like, it was pretty cool too. Like, I thought he did a fantastic job. The only thing is I don't know. I feel like they have to fit him back in, but I don't know if I want them to keep on fitting every character back in over and over again.
Maybe he'll go to the Rangers show.
Maybe. I mean, he would. But yeah, his sophomore performance was better than his rookie performance, and I didn't mind that either. But I thought it was a big improvement, and that obviously he's been working on his acting game.
People on Twitter, I remember they're kind of annoyed in season 1 with him, specifically because it got out that he really doesn't like Star Wars. And now
he doesn't like anything, though. People, come on.
I was gonna say, and now
he likes
after
nothing, he doesn't like living.
People in after his second episode, all over Twitter, Star Wars fans are like, "We need more Mayfield. Let's get him back." Which is
he said several times in interviews, like, "I don't like people." He says that all the time. He's like, "I don't like people. I hang out with myself. I don't like people." So saying he doesn't like Star Wars is not like a.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Hey, he's the living embodiment of Larry David's fictional character of himself. Johnny, thoughts on the episode?
Oh boy. Okay. This was a 10-minute side quest drawn out into a 40-minute episode. It was filler. I don't want filler the week before the finale. It was a 10-minute side quest stuffed into a 40-minute episode.
But you like last week.
This was more filler than last week.
Oh, for sure.
This was a 10-minute side quest that was stretched into 40 minutes. It was unnecessarily long for something very short. Like, okay, great, we're gonna have Mayfield, and that's gonna be fun, and Mando and Cara, and like, you didn't need to spend 5 minutes having a briefing with a commanding officer that you're literally just about to kill anyway.
They're all side quests. Everything's been a side
The
quest.
point was, this was a 10-minute side quest stuffed into a 40-minute episode. If this was 10 minutes of a 50-minute episode, then we're having a very different conversation. But we're not, because it was a 10-minute side quest in a 40-minute episode that was just one. Like, this should have been one segment of a bigger episode, not an entire episode.
And Johnny liked Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. That was a side quest.
Ouch.
Yeah, but I love it because you hate it. So
Wow.
That's a whole different argument.
I'll say this. I was with Johnny saying it was a filler episode. Make no mistake about it. I said to Tommy after seeing it, I was like, this felt like it should have been in the middle of the season, not the penultimate episode. That said, I disagree with what you said about the conversation at the end, because that was character building, not just for Bill Burr's character, but for Mando himself. And this episode absolutely does build Mando's character, because now you know unquestionably, he is willing to compromise any of his personal beliefs and or commitments for Grogu, and I'm on board with that. But in the end, it was a filler episode that probably would have been better off being, episode 6 instead of 7. But no, in general, I do agree with what Johnny's saying.
Next week's going to be a filler episode.
Oh, God.
And then we're going to be like, on to season 3. That's where cool stuff will happen.
Thaden?
If a finale is a filler episode, I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this episode did feel fillery to me, but not as much as last week's, where the only thing that happened was Yoda made a call, or Baby Yoda, whatever. Grogu made a call. That was it, and then got kidnapped. Like, that's all.
Yeah, to me, that's
This
not
had,
filler.
like,
That's main plot.
Character development. Yeah, but I mean, I guess filler isn't the word for that, but, the 20 minutes of fighting in the middle of the episode, followed by him getting kidnapped.
It's hard to even
that
call
was-
this one a filler just because of the way it comes off. Like, to me, filler's like,
Yeah.
oh, the hyperdrive's
They
damaged,
filled
so
the
we need to
episode
go
with
and yeah.
Combine the
They
last
filled
two
the
episodes
episode
into
with filler,
one.
but the main plot points weren't filler themselves.
Combine
It's
the last two into
weird.
one 50-plus minute episode, and then you've got a great episode. Independently, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would have been better. But also, as for the episode itself, I liked it. The fighting was cool with those pirates. I liked seeing Mando block and then his armor shatters. It was really cool because he's so used to blocking everything and being fine. Bill Burr's stuff was awesome, questioning Mando and his Mandalorian-ness, his creed. And then seeing Mando actually take off the helmet and walk into a room full of people that he didn't intend to kill at the time was like, oh my God, he's really serious about this. Like, he really wants to get Grogu back, and it means a lot to him. I think that with all the discussion before that with Mayfeld, like it built it up in a really good way because you didn't think you were going to see his face, or I didn't at least, because of the way they were talking about it. I thought that would be it. And then you do, and it's like, oh my God, like this is wild. And I thought it was cool how instead of, I had this pointed out to me, I didn't realize it for myself, but the way Mando looks around without the helmet, he turns his whole head all the time. He never looks with his eyes because he always wears a helmet, so it makes sense. And his face is also, like, he does a terrible job acting with his face. This one I did notice, because he always has a helmet on, so he never has to act with his face. And he never really acts it either anyways, because he's always just the Mandalorian. So it was cool seeing that stuff. I like seeing consistency like that. And yeah, I don't know. It felt like it was a good part of a story, but it wasn't a good story on its own, really, which is kind of weird.
I feel like,
and I don't know. I liked it a lot, but yeah.
I feel like Rick Famuyiwa just wanted to have that big transport truck thing and things attacking it, and which was cool, but it's like you could have, you could have cut that down massively. Tommy B, thoughts on? Sorry, Thaden, were you gonna say one more thing?
No. Go ahead.
Tommy, finish us off, man. Thoughts on Mando, and then your score on the episode.
It was all right. I didn't hate it. I liked Mayfield a lot better than I did the first season. I mean, I was pretty bummed when we had figured out we were going to be seeing him again. I thought he was going to be a real shitbag, but he wasn't. He was all right. I really, really liked that character development you get on Mando with the helmet, with Grogu at the end, the speech to Gideon. I liked how the speech to Gideon really aligns up to the speech Gideon gives to Mando's team when they're, getting flame troopered out of that building. So it was awesome. I give it a 7 now. That's good enough for me.
I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. By the way, no Grogu in this episode, first time yet. Kieran, what are you giving it?
Whatever Johnny says plus 2.
Johnny.
Well, and I guess Kieran's is a 7 because I'm giving it a 5.
Ooh,
Fuck.
5.
No, I changed my mind. 8. We're getting 8.
Thaden?
I give it like a 7.8.
7.8. Ooh, 7.8. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fun, long episode, long discussion episode with, I mean, the fact is we're never going to have this much news in one episode to talk about again, which is just nuts until Disney Investor Day 2021. Here's 9 more Star Wars shows we have coming.
I'd be so happy.
Oh, my God. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's time. Where's the page? There's the page.
Almost time.
The Death Watch.
I claim this sword and my rightful place as leader of Death Watch.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Death Watch is our version of Star Wars trivia. Thaden is the reigning, defending Star Wars Death Watch trivia champion. This week he takes on Johnny and myself. Questions being done by Kieran and Tommy, which means I'm probably fucked after what happened last week. Alrighty, so Kieran, Tommy, take it away, guys.
I just want to mention this is, I think, me and Tommy's 3rd time doing this, and we're really terrible at this part. So,
we didn't figure out what category.
I already said. What do you
See, Johnny's really
actually,
good at this.
I can't
I've done it with
say.
Tommy before, and it's fallen apart because I'm bad at it too.
Yeah. Whatever. I'll figure it out.
Quickly, before you guys start, Intel Wild sends in a super chat. Sean, you and me got a date tonight. Brackets, you know what I'm talking about.
Do you, in fact, know what he's talking about?
I can honestly say most of the times I know exactly what Intel's talking about. And maybe it's just because I've been so busy. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, so please text me. Alrighty. Take it away, boys.
Did you figure out your numbers?
Yeah, I got him. I'm good at this shit.
Debatable.
All right. Pick a number between 1 and 10. Thaden, you go first.
6.
Nope.
Damn.
You got to tell us who's next.
I'm looking at you.
9.
Nope.
Only one of us who knows that is
John.
Johnny.
Stop making your date. You'll meet him at the Sizzler in 2 hours.
Our buddy Ian is tuning in right now, I believe, too. So shout out to Ian. I'll pick the number 1, which
Nope.
come. All right, fine then. Just cut me off.
Yep.
Is it Johnny or me? Did Johnny go?
It's you.
It's you.
Okay, I didn't hear you go. 4.
Nope.
5.
Nope.
Oh, it's my go.
Nope.
8.
Nope.
9.
Nope.
How does this happen?
3.
Nope.
10.
Nope.
Oh, I know it.
7.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure you've all guessed more than 10 numbers. now.
Thaden picked a double. He wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I think
All
I
right.
did. I thought I
It's
did.
one of 2 numbers.
Okay, just pick the number.
6.
I know
Nope.
one of
2.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Fuck.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, I already get 6. Johnny did a double 2.
All right.
No, you didn't.
Yes, 6
I was
already-
literally
Yeah,
counting them off on my fingers. as somebody
Intel
picked
Wild
up.
sends in a $5 super chat. Says I sent you a text message. I got it, Intel, and sounds like a plan, my man.
All right. So now, does he pick the order or does he
picks
pick
the category.
All right. Pick the category then.
I'm
Tommy,
gonna
I sent them to
pick category number 1.
you. Okay. Thaden.
3.
All right. That gives
I guess
Johnny-
I picked 2.
Yep. All right. I got that in my head now. We're good. Thaden, what order would you like to go?
2nd.
Okay. Sean, since you won, you can pick your next.
I'm going last.
You're going last. So Johnny's
Well, I guess
going
I get
first.
to go first.
Yeah. Fuck yourself.
I'm lodging a formal protest on grounds of question maker bias.
Well, I mean, he's biased against me. Let's be real.
I hate all of you.
He
I
hates us
actually
all.
like Tommy.
He hates us all equally, but wants to go on a couple's vacation. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm kind of like Bill Burr.
Makes 2 of us.
All right, so I guess that would make. Oh, I did this one. Yeah. Okay. What would you like to? Would you like to know your categories? Of course, you would like to know. Johnny, you got. Say it.
Oh, fuck.
Say it.
If I say movies, do I get that category instead?
No.
Then go fuck yourself.
Literature.
Oh, God. Johnny got literature. Poor guy.
Sean,
that
you
was
got movies and screen, and Thaden, you got games.
Fuck.
All right.
I haven't played that many Star Wars games.
I know. Yeah, you're all fucked. So I think Johnny's going first. So
Unfortunately, yes, I'm first.
let's go.
Tommy, get the time.
Let's go.
In the category of literature.
Oh, my God. I can't take it.
I should never host anything.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Gonna be tipping this back if you keep that up.
Here's the question.
If I get literature again next time I'm a contestant, I might need that bottle.
They're not that bad. Come
All right,
on.
y'all. I'm
All
gonna
right.
fall the fuck asleep soon, and my AirPods are almost dead. Let's keep going.
All right. In my youth, I was considered brash and flamboyant. My attitude was changed after I was scarred in a great war. I died taking on 1,000 enemies and became a legend in the enemy's history.
fiancé. Sorry, Jade told me to do it.
10.
What?
Nothing. Focus on your question.
5, 4,
Repeat the
3,
question.
2.
In my youth, I was considered brash and flamboyant. My attitude was changed after I was scarred in a great war. I died taking on 1,000 enemies and became a legend in the enemy's history.
You started 10 seconds after the repeat, right?
Yep. So now he has about 5.
Shouldn't you be like counting this
4.
down properly?
4,
Three.
3.
Multiple choice.
All right. Was it Ganner Rysode, Kip Duran, Koran Horn, or Kaiser Wilhelm?
Well, I know the answer to this one.
Kip Duran?
Nope.
No. The answer is
Kaiser!
Didn't
Anna
we agree?
Rysode.
Didn't we reach a formal agreement to not put the joke answer last?
No, it's
Wasn't
always
that a
last.
rule?
No, it was bad because you put 2 of them in a question.
Yeah, but we agreed not to put the funny one last so that when the competitor laughs, it's not at the end.
That did happen before.
Oh, well.
Kaiser Wilhelm? Good
Don't worry.
God.
You guys
I'll
are all
give you a hint. It wasn't Corin Horn or Kip Duran because neither of them are dead yet, technically. And
yeah, man, they're not scarred, I don't think either.
I know Corn's
But
not.
Ganner
I think Kip
features
did
a
get
big,
scarred.
giant scar across his face. He used
So
to be a
Kaiser
very,
Wilhelm.
he used to be a very pretty boy, like, whatever. He fought the Yuuzhan Vong. They fucked him up. He straightened up his act. And then he collapsed a dome that he fought 1,000 Yuuzhan
I should have just
Vong
picked
warriors.
fucking Kaiser Wilhelm.
And he became, in their lore, the Ganner.
All right,
Anyway.
let's keep going.
So that brings us to Sean said he would like to go second.
Nope, last.
I thought you said. Oh, okay.
I never picked.
All right, well then take it away, Tommy.
Ooh.
Yay. Okay, for the category of games. Do you have the time?
Sure, I do.
Sure. Okay. I wielded the dark side of the Force. I wielded a double-bladed lightsaber. I would die at the hands of my master while my former Jedi master watched. Who am I?
Ten,
That is not
The
cool.
question?
5.
Repeat?
Tommy, we got no audio, buddy.
Tommy's thing's died.
No audio, man.
Kieran, do you have the questions?
I do have his question.
You have all of Tommy's questions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Tommy, type in the chat if you can hear us, buddy. Type in the chat. If your things are dead, that's fine. I know you, I mean, we all got work
All right.
tomorrow, but...
We got, I wielded the dark side of the Force. I wielded a double-bladed lightsaber. I would die at the hands of my master while my former Jedi master watched. Who am I? And I just realized I have the multiple choice, but I do not have the answers.
Quickly, Tommy, send your answer to Kieran.
I'm good, but
Oh,
the
he's
audio
good.
quality is going to be
That's
shit.
fine. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Multiple choice.
Okay, the multiple choice is Trilla Siduri, Aura Singh, Asajj Ventress, and Maul.
Asajj Ventress.
That is incorrect.
Shit. Yeah. That's a book death.
Well, it can be a book death and be a video game
The
character.
correct answer was Trilla Siduri, who is the second sister. Asajj Ventress never actually appeared in a game.
That
I don't
was
think.
no.
Uh,
I don't think Aura did either.
Did she die in front of her master, though?
No, her master's already dead by the time the Clone Wars comes around.
No, Trilla's.
Yeah, she dies in front of Seer, doesn't she?
I thought she dies in front of you.
Uh-oh.
Isn't C
I'm
there?
pretty sure that's wrong because I was gonna say the second sister, but
Okay.
But
Why don't you-
didn't.
Why don't you fact check that
yeah, because
while I ask the other two questions? And
think
if
so.
you're
I'll
indeed
fact
wrong,
check
then just
that.
give
That
him
might
another
have been a
question.
mistake on my part.
yeah, well, we'll figure it out.
We'll
Okay,
cut-
Just
go on,
fact check
Sean.
that, Tommy. I'll ask the other questions.
I'm going to file a formal protest against this entire episode on that question being invalidated.
Oh yeah.
Go
you want
ahead,
another
Kieran.
one? You want another one?
No,
'Cause I got
it's Sean's
one.
turn. It's not my turn, so
I decide who goes.
that's not how this works.
All right. I worked closely with a future Imperial politician. I was a great Jedi warrior, and I was killed by a beast.
Are you timing this?
I hope somebody's timing it.
10, 9, 8, 7. I hope these are actual seconds. 6, 4.
Repeat.
Okay, good. I can actually get a timer on here. I worked closely with a
I got
future
it.
Imperial politician.
That was the correct question.
I was a great Jedi warrior. I was killed by a beast.
Can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you over Tommy. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, sure. I worked closely with a future Imperial politician. I was a great Jedi warrior, and I was killed by a beast.
Five, 4, 3, 2,
Multiple choice.
1.
All right. You're Pong Krell, Evan Peel, Junta Kano, or Garmanarnar.
Ponkrell.
That is incorrect.
Junta Aquino?
No, I made up
Evan
that name too.
Peel.
So there's actually two nobodies.
Now, after coming after me for two fake answers.
Yeah,
That's-
which is funny because you guessed the one I made up. It's Evan Peel. He worked closely with Tarkin. Tarkin was
Got killed by like a wolf.
and he got killed by a weird black-looking wolf thing. And he was a great Jedi warrior, specifically a great Jedi warrior, and not very good at
Sorry,
all.
did we
that round
did we
went very
determine
well.
that Thaden's question was legal?
Yes, it was.
All right.
It was correct?
All right. Round
Okay.
2. Here we
I
go.
Alright.
misremembered the game then. I should have just guessed her.
Round 2. All right, Johnny. My father was killed by Aura Singh. I was both a Jedi and a Sith, among other things. And I was originally thought to be killed by a Sith, but then later killed by someone declaring themselves a Jedi.
Can somebody draw me a diagram of that question?
10. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Repeat the question.
1.
Okay. My father was killed by Aura Singh. I was both a Jedi and a Sith, among other things. I was originally thought to be killed by a Sith, but was later killed by a Jedi. Oh, by someone declaring themselves a Jedi. That's important.
Okay, I guess 10, 9. He kept talking again.
Multiple choice.
All right. Was it Darth Talon, Darth Weirlock, Darth Nihil, or Asherad Het?
The first one.
Darth Talon is incorrect. It is Asherad Het, who is also known as Darth Krayt.
You give me the Darth names of everyone else and then random real name nobody knows for the...
Asura.
God, I hate you so much.
Yes, I did.
You knew he was going to come back this week with a
Okay,
vengeance.
he was killed by Cade Skywalker, who then declared himself a Jedi right after that.
God, I hate you so much.
And his father was killed by Aura Singh.
Has anyone got a question right so far?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, because me and Tommy are so bad at this.
Clearly.
All right, let's move on. Thaden's question.
Okay. I
Negan?
was a Dark Jedi. My weapons of choice in the climactic duel were two red single-bladed lightsabers. I die on Tasper 3. Who am I?
What the fuck? Multiple choice.
Okay. Tavion, Alora, Tiber Zahn, or Shizor.
The first one. Tavion, I think.
That is incorrect.
Is Shizor the actual pronunciation of that name?
It is.
I have heard
Shizor.
that, and I always thought it was Zizor.
So did I.
Nope, it's Shizor.
But yeah, I've heard it said that way. Anyways,
Shizor.
I think we're getting
Anyways,
the clue
who
to
was it?
move on.
What was the
quickly.
answer?
What was
Alora.
the answer? Alora.
Damn it, that was my next guess.
Jedi Academy, right?
Was the first guy also in Jedi Academy? Because that's what I was going
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
for Sean. I was in exactly 52 minutes of screen time. Just for you, Sean. Okay. No. That's not really don't erase that from your mind. I worked for Jabba the Hutt. I was killed by Luke Skywalker. I had 2 action figures come out before I even had a confirmed name.
Ten. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Repeat.
1.
Okay. I worked for Jabba the Hutt. I was killed by Luke Skywalker. And I had 2 action figures come out before I even had a confirmed name.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I got nothing.
All right. The answer is Spaghetti Rook.
Is that the Gamorrean?
It's the guy who pushes the guy. He's got the axe, the vibro axe, and he tries to push Luke off the plank.
Wow.
He was in the
That's
original
reaching.
set of toys,
Yeah.
and he was also in the Power of the Force toys. And both of them, he's like, it just says like Jabba Skiff Guy or
I was
something.
gonna say
like that.
what's hilarious is I literally just read about or was listening to this guy in or they talk about him in Heir to the Empire.
Yeah.
They make reference to him anyway, and so
Wow.
was never gonna get that one. Glad I didn't burn multiple choice there.
All right.
Hang on, who used multiple choice last round?
I'm done with
You
my
both
multiple
did, yeah.
choices.
So only I have one left. Excellent.
Okay. So
Excellent.
now we're going to Johnny.
Now you're going to go fuck yourself.
So good. All right. I lost my foot to a Jedi and my arm to a sacrifice to the gods. I was obsessed with capturing my eventual Jedi killer. My title was War Master.
I'll take some random character for 500 from the Old
It's
Republic.
not. Yeah, but
5, 4, 3,
Repeat the
2.
question.
okay. I lost my foot to a Jedi. And I lost my arm to a sacrifice to the gods. I was obsessed with capturing my eventual Jedi killer. My title was War Master.
you're a Yuuzhan Vong whose name I have no fucking clue, but he's a Yuuzhan Vong.
You should have saved your multiple choice.
But let me. Would that have even helped me? Because I'm betting you had like 4 names that sound exactly like a Yuuzhan Vong name.
I want to hear. I want to hear the choices. Obviously, he's out.
All right, you're out. You're out. But let's. So it's either Savong Law, Shadow Shai, Nom Anor, or Chris Angel.
I think it's the third one.
I think it's Nominor.
Sorry, what did you think it was, Sean?
The third one?
Nominor?
Me too.
It is not Nominor. It's
Oh.
Savong
Fuck.
Law.
That was my second guess.
That was the second one, wasn't it?
No,
That
it's
was
the first one.
Okay.
The second one is Shadow Shai. He's the guy who Koran Horn faces off for the Battle of those Hammerhead dudes.
I thought Johnny was going to be like, I was going to get that.
Yeah. This is what happens when
I
you
would have got
give
it wrong
me...
on multiple choice because I would have picked the second one. But I mean, I knew it was Yuuzhan.
All right.
Do I get half a point for knowing it was Yuuzhan Vong?
No.
I said War Master.
Technically, you're still in this at the moment, Johnny. So
Thaden's
to my next
question.
I appear as a villain in Jedi Outcast.
fuck.
My master, Chistori, I might be butchering that, is killed, although I am spared. I die on Korriban. Who am I?
Jeffrey Sith guy.
You don't have any multiple choice, do you?
No, he doesn't. What were the options?
That was Tavion. She doesn't die in Jedi Outcast, but
Wait,
she
did you
is.
say that was Tavion?
Yeah.
Who did you say it was?
That one was Tavion.
Son of a bitch. I was gonna guess that, but I couldn't remember the name.
Master, who looks like a dinosaur looking dude.
I couldn't remember the fucking name. That was my only real guess.
Cultist 3, who is voiced by Tom Kane. And
All right, Sean.
All right.
Here it is. All right. I turned on the person who killed me with a lightsaber. My killer stole my lightsaber. My conquest of a planet and greed destroyed me.
Ten.
Can you repeat the question?
I turned on the person who killed me with a lightsaber. My killer stole my lightsaber. My conquest of a planet and greed destroyed me.
I don't know. Multiple choice.
Am I Count Dooku, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, or Pre Vizsla?
Count Dooku.
The answer is Pre Vizsla.
Yep.
And we pitched a shutout!
I would have picked Pre Vizsla of those multiple choice because
Oh no! Honestly, no. Listen, I'm not kidding. I swear on my kids. After he said Dooku, Vader, and Sidious, I didn't even listen to the fourth name because he's been given fake names. I swear I did. My own fault, but my God.
Guess who did that on
Mine
purpose?
was my fault too. It sucks.
Woo!
Because like Dooku didn't really add up either. I thought maybe you fucked up the question. I knew it wasn't Vader or Sidious, so.
Okay. So overtime?
who?
Oh, shit, we need the overtime. Oh, I hope one of you get this, because my other overtime question wasn't great.
How's overtime work again? I can't remember how we've done it.
Okay,
You made the rules!
It's been a while. Been a little busy if you haven't noticed.
I'll just make up my own rules here. All right, Thaden's the champion, so he gets the first crack at it. If he gets it wrong, then... Oh, we need 3 questions for that, because you guys
Yeah,
all...
I thought we each answered and then
Yeah, you guys
it's
all
like
suck,
rock paper
so-
scissors kind of
Both
gimmick.
Yes.
If you get it right, you go to the next one. Or if everybody gets it wrong, you
Does everybody have hang on? Does everybody have a pen by them?
No.
Not you, the players.
You supply.
I am
some
a
shit.
player.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't have a pen near me.
I don't know how this works then. I can't
I think
remember.
it was. I think
This
that's
is
how
how
I
it
said.
works.
We each say an answer.
This is how it works. Me and Tommy are now the champion.
No, because everybody
No.
had a shot at one question.
I think what we do.
I think that was it. Like they say the question. There's no repeats, no multiple choices. Everybody answers. If you get it right and nobody else does, you win.
Okay.
But
Let's
how do you
that.
answer?
With your voice.
Well, then someone
mean,
could take someone else's answer.
Well, I mean, that's.
I can find something to write on, probably.
I can't.
I might be able to.
I think Thaden
Sean
should get
can.
the first question because he should be able to be the first one to get it.
I am okay with
But
that.
then we need a third question.
Well, you could do my question, and if I get it wrong, then that question.
Wait,
goes
hang
to the
on,
next
time out. Does
person.
everybody have the ability to message Kieran on Messenger?
Yes.
All right, so
All
send,
right.
we'll do it
Yeah.
Star Wars Wasteland style.
Okay.
Your answer
Okay,
gets sent to
1 sec.
Kieran over Messenger, and you only have 20 seconds to answer.
All right.
Do
And make
not
sure you
use
don't
your
send it
phone.
in the group chat.
Yeah, do not use your phone. First one to get it wins.
Okay.
I have to send it on my phone. Yeah, what? What do you mean no googling? There's no googling.
Johnny already
Are
sent
we
me
ready
a fuck
to
you.
ask it?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Ask the question.
So no multiple choice. Well,
No.
no
No,
multiple
no.
choice.
You guys
There
don't get
are
it.
no
You
multiple
suck.
choice. There are no multiple choice.
How many
That's not
questions do you
happening.
have prepared?
He has 2.
All right.
Let's go.
I served both the Republic and Empire. A high-ranking officer, I would serve in the Navy and later in the ISB. I would die aboard the first Death Star. Who am I?
I already sent my message to
Yeah. So,
you, John.
Sean got in first with the answer of Tarkin, which is wrong. And Thaden got in second with the answer of Wolf Yularen, which I believe is correct. Tommy, that's
That is
correct,
correct.
right? All right. So,
ISB.
Thaden is the winner
That
based
did
on
it.
the ISB part,
Man,
which
I blew
happens in
that
the
one.
Thrawn book.
I blew
0
that
to 0
one.
to 0. I win. Jesus
Wow,
Christ.
that was terrible. And on
This was a rough night.
I blame all the Star Wars news in 1 week.
But you realize what this means, though, right? That means we're back at it next week.
You and me. Oh, don't worry. He was pissed at the questions last week. Oh, it's on.
Oh, yeah, I know. Maybe like,
It
Like
is.
that, I'm getting caught in the middle of your feud.
the actor who portrayed me had dental surgery just a month ago.
Oh,
This
man.
character sat in the makeup chair for 60 minutes every day of filming.
But only appeared in 8 minutes and
Brown at some
27
point
seconds
in
of the
his life.
film.
And their death was left on the cutting room floor.
I didn't think that these questions were that bad. But
Uh,
I just read New Jedi Order, and you guys didn't.
Yeah,
Just
but now I'm pissed. Because I got literature again. And now I'm angry.
sounds like a you problem.
You didn't get anyone right either.
Oh, I'm aware.
In the category of normally wins.
Oh, by the way, who had that category last week? Oh, that's right, you did. Did you win last week?
No,
Oh,
I did
no,
not
you
win
didn't.
last week. Because my hints didn't have anything to do with the character. Just like, he appeared in 3 films. He has a lightsaber.
Just wait until video games next week. He appeared in 1 game.
You've been listening to too much of that audiobook. You sound like Sabayoth right now.
Oh, boy, that is mean.
Anyways, Rogue Sons, guys. Kieran, Thaden, where can everybody find you at?
You can find us at Rogue Sons, a Star Wars podcast, and we have confirmed that we are going to be doing a giant episode. We're going to be recording it on Saturday, so it should be there Saturday late night or Sunday, and we're going to really pump out a good one. So this will be a great time for anyone to join on Rogue Sons, a Star Wars podcast.
Awesome. Good stuff, boys. Good stuff. And Kieran, we'll see you Thursday for the Phantom Empire Christmas special. Tommy B, where can everybody find you at, man?
find me hanging around our groups on Facebook. Check out the Phantom Empire Den, the channel's Facebook group. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TommyB1650.
I think I just realized who Luke Jensen is in the chat. And I don't think it's Luke Jensen either. All right, Tommy, great stuff. Johnny, where can everybody find you at?
You can find me here, there, and everywhere. You can also find me laughing at you for, having your fiance being happy you didn't win. That's worth a chuckle.
Anywhere else?
Well, I mean, I could do my usual bit, but you like to cut me off when I do that lately, so.
Go ahead.
Oh, you can find me on my off.
No, you're cut off again.
You see?
All right. And don't forget, everybody, you can check us out at the following places. Or maybe not. Where did it go?
Wait, I missed this in the chat. Did you whore yourself out for $100?
No. Maybe. Potentially.
Yeah, $100 is way too much to be spending for him.
Potentially. It will be good in 10 minutes. All right. You can check us out. Where the hell's the page? Why isn't it here?
You should know this.
No, that is a photo from Haddonfield to Vanish. That's not going to work. That one will, though. Check us out on Twitter at FandomEmpireNow, at StarWarsIRB, on Instagram, FandomEmpireNow, and StarWarsIRB. Facebook group, The Fandom Empire Den, and Facebook pages, Fandom Empire, Halloween Kills 2020, Supernatural Revisited, The Future of Halloween, and The Future of Star Wars. For our chat mod, Frank Riker, who was in the house here, or in the chat here, and for the guys on the show, Tommy B, Thaden, Kieran, and Johnny, and for my buddy Ian, who him and I are going to be doing a sort of a two-person Star Wars discussion podcast starting in 2021, where it's just like two guys sitting at a bar for a quick half an hour talking about whatever Star Wars comes to their mind. You'll be able to check that on podcast platforms everywhere. And to my, I don't even know how she wants me to say this, fiance, thank you for saying yes and making me assured that I now have a pain in the ass for life. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Good night.